Testing? Okay, great. Mic works. Okay, so today is Thursday, the 19th of December, 2024. Time is 10:59. So it's almost 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's been a very busy week here. Last time I streamed was like a couple of days ago, and I was in the middle. I had finished the third playthrough of Metal Gear Solid, and then at the end I was reading the master book and the screenplay book. I still haven't finished the screenplay book. Last time I finished the stream, I was on page 22 at the Foxhound part. So I'll continue where I left off, and hopefully I can finish reading through it, and then we'll be ready to start Metal Gear Solid 2. Okay, so let's get stuck in. It's almost page 22. Okay. Okay, so player selects unit Foxhound. Shot of Foxhound insignia and data on the unit. Campbell says, high-tech Special Forces unit Foxhound, your former unit, and one that I was a commander of. An elite group combining firepower and expertise. They're every bit as good as when I was commanding them. So, they're still around, said Snick. Campbell replied, there are 6 members of Foxhound involved in this terrorist activity. Photos and profiles of Foxhound members. Psycho Mantis with his powerful psychic abilities. Sniper Wolf, the beautiful and deadly sharpshooter. Decoy Octopus, master of disguise. Vulcan Raven, giant and shaman. And Revolver Ocelot, specialist in interrogation and a formidable gunfighter. Snake says, looks like a lovely bunch of folks. Campbell says, and finally, in charge of them, Foxhound's squad leader, Liquid Snake. Liquid Snake? Yes, and you're the only person who can stand against them. Player selects Liquid Snake. Liquid Snake. Liquid Snake. The man with the same codename as you. Tell me what you know. He fought in the Gulf War as a teenager, the youngest person in the SAS. His job was to track down and destroy mobile Scud missile launching platforms. Flashback, a scene from the Gulf War. You were there too, I believe. Didn't you infiltrate western Iraq with a platoon of Green Berets? I was just a kid myself back then. The details are classified, but it seems that originally he penetrated the Middle East as a sleeper for the SIS. He was a spy for the British Secret Intelligence Service, but he never once showed his face in Century House. He was taken prisoner in Iraq, and after that there was no trace of him for several years. After he retired, he was rescued and became a member of Foxhound. I thought that by the time I left, they were no longer using codenames. I don't know his real name. That information is so highly classified that even I can't look at it. Here's a photo of him. Campbell presents a photo of Liquid. His face is identical to Snake's. Snake is speechless. Campbell says, pretty shocking, huh? His skin tone is different, but otherwise you two are exact duplicates. I have a twin? I don't know the details, but it seems so. That's why we really need you for this mission. You're the only one who can beat him. Now that I've met you, I know. You've got something that he doesn't. I can see it in your eyes, said Naomi. Snake says, why don't I find that thought more comforting? Player selects exit. Snake says, I need to borrow your scissors. Naomi says, what are you going to do? Don't worry. Just gonna clean myself up a little. Huh? So at this part you hear scissors chopping. And then Snake says, I don't want to be mistaken for the leader of the terrorists. Infiltration 1. Infiltration intro cutscene. Caption, Alaska, Bering Sea. Ohio-class nuclear-powered submarine USS Discovery navigates the deeps. The sub's control room. Campbell faces his Kodak terminal, gauges and instruments bathing him in an unnatural glow. He's flanked by Naomi. The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by Next Generation Special Forces being led by members of Foxhound. The contours of Shadow Moses Island appear on radar. Various images and other data are projected onto the briefing monitor screen. They're demanding that the government turn over the remains of Big Boss, and they say that if their demands are not met within 24 hours, they'll launch a nuclear weapon. External shot of Discovery. From one of its hatches, the sub launches an SDV carrying Snake. Shot of Snake's underwater point of view, POV. Data populates the radar screen. You'll have 2 mission objectives. First, you're to rescue DARPA Chief Donald Anderson and the President of Armstec, Kenneth Becker. The SDV enters an underwater cave beneath Shadow Moses. Campbell continues to speak to Snake via Kodak. Both are being held as hostages. Secondly, you're to investigate whether or not the terrorists have the ability to make a nuclear strike and stop them if they do. What's the insertion method? The SDV's hatch pops open and Snake emerges in his scuba gear. Snake watches the SDV sink. We'll approach the disposal facility by sub, and then we'll launch a one-man SDV, swimmer delivery vehicle. After the SDV gets as close as it can, dispose of it. From there on, you'll have to swim. High-tech Special Forces unit Foxhound, your former unit, and one that I was a commander of. So, they're still around. There are 6 members of Foxhound involved in this terrorist activity. Psycho Mantis with his powerful psychic abilities. Sniper Wolf, the beautiful and deadly sharpshooter. Decoy Octopus, master of disguise. Vulcan Raven, giant and shaman. And Revolver Ocelot, specialist in interrogation and a formidable gunfighter. Looks like a lovely bunch of folks. And finally, in charge of them, Foxhound squad leader, Liquid Snake. Liquid Snake. The man with the same codename as you. The nuclear weapons disposal facility covers the whole island. I'll instruct you by Kodak after you reach your target. Anyone going with me? As usual, this is a one-man infiltration mission. Weapons and equipment OSP? On-site procurement? Yes, this is a top-secret Black Op. Don't expect any official support. Infiltration 2. Infiltration cutscene. The sea flows into a dimly lit cave underneath the island. Snake's POV, framed by scuba goggles. Within the cave is a concrete dock, housing rows of containers. At the back of the dock is an elevator for transporting material to the surface. Snake, equipped with a small air tank, swims toward the dock. Still quite far away from it, he sticks his head above the water. Snake spots 2 genome soldiers in cold weather gear on patrol. He slips back underwater. Cast credits roll during the sequence. Snake, now much closer to the dock, pops his head back out above water. He looks around. Right in front of him, a mischief of mice runs past, and the soldier passes by. Unaware of Snake observing him from below, the soldier walks on. From not too far away comes a man's voice. Off screen. Stay alert. He'll be through here. I know it. I'm going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies. Sound of a motor, that of the elevator starting up. Still treading water, Snake takes out his binoculars and zooms in on the elevator at the far end of the dock. They reveal Liquid Snake in the flesh. He's naked from the waist up, partially covered by a leather long coat. He projects power, standing with his arms crossed as the elevator rises. Snake pans up, getting a good look at Liquid's face. It is indeed identical to his own. Liquid's cast credit. Snake submerges once more. There's a light splash and a ripple travels across the water. From the elevator, Liquid's eyes are drawn to the spot where Snake disappeared. The ripple is still visible, though Snake is not. At the west side of the dock, Snake takes another peek above water. In front of him, there's a tank of some sort, and beside it, a stack of metal barrels. Snake looks around, making sure he'll be completely out of sight. He climbs onto the edge of the dock, this being the one spot that sits above the rest of the water. He still has on his underwater vest and goggles, but he's already taken out his mouthpiece. Snake remains in the water from the knees down, his fins visible beneath the surface. Snake moves from the shallows to the edge. He sits down on it, removes his fins, and puts them away. Snake then contacts Campbell via Kodak. Infiltration 3. Infiltration Kodak call. This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me? Loud and clear. What's the situation, Snake? Looks like the elevator in the back is the only way up. Just as I expected. You'll have to take the elevator to the surface, but make sure nobody sees you. If you need to, contact me by Kodak. The frequency is 140.85. When you want to use the Kodak, push the select button, Kodak button. When we need to contact you, the Kodak will beep. When you hear that noise, press the select button, Kodak button. The Kodak's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it. Got it. Okay, I'm ready to go. Infiltration 4. Snake's face revealed cutscene. Snake slips past the guards and steps onto the elevator. He starts to shed the rest of his scuba gear, dropping his goggles, tank, and fins at his feet. The player gets their first look at Snake's grim face. Until now, his goggles and dry cap have kept his head covered. His face looks exactly like Liquid's. As the elevator climbs, it offers a view of the entire container dock. Infiltration 5. Heliport cutscene. The elevator comes to a stop in another container depot. This one is located in the southwest corner of a heliport, situated by a precipice. With the blizzard, it's close to whiteout conditions. Snake gets off the elevator, takes a few steps toward the precipice, and looks down at the frozen waters. About 60 meters, 197 feet to the north, he can see the imposing walls of the nuclear weapons disposal facility. In front of it is a square-shaped helipad, and on that is a Hind D about to take off. On the left side of the heliport, a forklift ferries loads back and forth. Snake gets off the elevator and calls Campbell. Okay, be right back. I'm just going to get a glass of water. Okay, I'm back. So, oh, sounds like something smashed in the kitchen. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, I'm just, I'm just waiting on something on the computer loading here. I suppose I could continue reading until it's finished. So, my niece will be in after school, probably after 2, so that gives me like less than 3 hours to try and get through reading all of this, so I need to try and get a move on, get it over and done with. Feeling quite warm, so I'm just gonna switch from my hoodie here to a t-shirt. So I have the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection on the PlayStation and on the PC. So what the words are quite small, so for me to read them I have to like pick up the microphone and like stand in front of the screen so I can like read the words. So I thought, you know, it would probably be easier if I just installed the PC version and then read from that one. So that's what I'm doing. It's at 4.63 gigabytes of 5.4. So once it's finished, I'll turn that one on, and then I'll like put up the screenplay book and then like read from this page as well. That way I don't have to stand and hold the microphone. I can just have it sitting on the desk. Most of them from your Auntie English.
What?
Most of them from your Auntie English. Okay. Infiltration 6, Haliport Kodak call. Snake says, "It's Snake. I'm in front of the disposal facility. If player arrived quickly, excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit. If the player took a while, that took a long time. I guess you're feeling a little rusty. Don't worry, it's been a while, but it's all coming back to me. How's that sneaking suit working out? I'm nice and dry, but it's a little hard to move. Bear with it. It's designed to prevent hypothermia. This is Alaska, you know. Take it easy, I'm grateful. If it weren't for your suit and your shot, I would have turned into a popsicle out there. An anti-freezing peptide, Snake. All of the genome soldiers in this exercise are using it. I see. I'm relieved to hear that. Already tested, huh? By the way, how's the diversionary operation going? 2 F-16s just took off from Galena and are headed your way. The terrorist radar should have already picked them up. Okay. Infiltration 7. Helicopter takeoff cutscene. From the helipod comes a deafening roar. Snake shifts his attention from the Kodak to the direction of the sound. The hind gently lifts into the air. More soldiers in cold weather gear see it off. Snake takes out his binoculars and peers into its cockpit. At the controls is a man who would appear to be liquid. Snake studies the aircraft. Questions begin to form in his mind. A hindy? Snake shows disbelief. Colonel, what's a Russian gunship doing here? Campbell's voice comes in over the Kodak. I have no idea, but it looks like our little diversion got their attention. Now's your best chance to slip in unnoticed. The hind flies off. Infiltration 8. Enter Milling Kodak call. There are only 18 hours left until their deadline. You've got to hurry. Wow, he must be crazy to fly a hind in this kind of weather. Who's that? Oh, sorry, I haven't introduced you to yet. This is Mei Ling. She was assigned to us as our visual and data processing specialist. She designed your Kodak as well as your Soliton radar system. Contact her if you have any questions about either of them. Nice to meet you, Snake. It's an honor to speak to a living legend like yourself. Visual of Mei Ling appears on the monitor. Snake didn't say anything. What's wrong? Nothing. I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so cute. You're just flattering me. She's actually pleased. No, I'm serious. Well, I know I won't be bored for the next 18 hours. Come on, I can't believe I'm being hit on by the famous Solid Snake. But I'm surprised. You're very frank for a trained killer. Looks like we both have a lot to learn about each other. Yeah, I'm looking forward to learning about the man behind the legend. But first, let me explain about your Soliton radar system. The radar appears on the screen. It shows the position of the player as well as the positions of enemies. The bright dot in the middle is you, Snake. The red dots are your enemies, and the blue cone shape represents your field of vision. Be careful, Snake. The genome soldiers have highly developed senses of hearing and vision due to their genotherapy. Make sure you don't let them see you. First, I want you to infiltrate the disposal site and look for the DARPA chief. The DARPA chief was injected with the same GPS transmitting nanomachines as you. He should appear on your radar as a green dot. Get whatever information you can from him about the terrorists, if he's alive, that is. Snake, your radar isn't affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it. Yes, it gets jammed easily, I'm afraid. Yes, it's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful. We'll be monitoring your movements by radar, so contact us by Kodak anytime you want. Got it. I'll call if I'm feeling lonely. Seriously, Snake, we're here to back you up, so call if you need some information or advice. I'm also in charge of your... Mei Ling says, I'm also in charge of your mission data. Contact me if you want to record your current status. My frequency is 140.96. It's a dedicated frequency for saving data. Don't forget it. Campbell says, remember, except for your binoculars, you're naked. You need to arm yourself with whatever weapons you can find. Snake says, I remember. First I'm strip searched by Dr. Naomi here, and then all my weapons are taken away. Imagine yourself in that position. Naomi says, well, if you make it back in one piece, maybe I'll let you do a strip search on me. Snake says, I'll hold you to that, Doctor. By the way, sorry to disappoint you, but I did manage to smuggle out my smokes. How did you do that? In my stomach, thanks to the shot you gave me that suppressed my stomach acids. Cigarettes? How are those going to help you? You never know. Infiltration 9, Binoculars Recon Cutscene. Snake takes his binoculars back out and studies the base. Campbell says, if you want to get in, there's the front door. He zooms in on the main door. It's the fastest way, but there's too much risk of being spotted by the enemy. I can't just knock on the door and ask them to let me in. Snake zooms in on the first forward duct next to the main door. He also identifies one soldier in front of a truck, one sentry on the left and one on the right. He pans over, checking to see what he's dealing with. They're armed with 5.56ers and pineapples. What about the air duct near the door? There should be a duct on the second floor. Snake looks for the second floor duct, but he can't get an angle on it. There's another soldier on the second floor walkway. I can't see it from here. Snake puts away his binoculars. I'll let you decide the best COA course of action. I'm counting on you, Snake. Infiltration 10. Truck drop-off cutscene. Snake is underneath a cardboard box in the back of the truck parked at the heliport. A soldier peers through the window and mutters to himself, "Is this all there is to load? If the box's destination is the heliport." To the heliport, huh? If the box's destination is to the canyon. To the canyon, huh? If the box's destination is nuclear warhead storage. To nuclear warhead storage, huh? If the box's destination is to the snowfield north of the towers. The snowfield north of the towers, huh? The truck's engine fires up and it takes off. Meeting the DARPA Chief 1. Weapon location hint cutscene. The tank hangar first floor duct. It's a narrow ventilation shaft just big enough for someone to squeeze through. Snake crawls down it. Light bleeds in through the wire mesh at the end. Snake peeks through the mesh. Two soldiers are talking. They're standing at attention with their FAMASs still in their hands. Snake is right at their feet. He holds his breath. Were all the SOCOM pistols unloaded? Yeah, but there was a problem. What is it? The security on the door was broken. So the door is still open? Second floor where? The east side room. We'd better fix it before the boss finds out. Additional dialogue if they know there's an intruder. But that's nothing. I heard they spotted an intruder outside. Really? Maybe we'll finally get to see some action. Yeah, but we'd better do something about that door. Let's put in an order to have it repaired. Meeting the DARPA Chief 2. Chief's location hint cutscene. The tank hangar, a second floor duct. Snake worms his way through the tight ventilation shaft on the ceiling. He looks down through the wire mesh to see two soldiers standing around talking. Snake's face appears above them. I moved the DARPA Chief to the cell in the first floor basement. What about that vent shaft cleaning? They just opened the vent covers. They're about to start spraying for rats. Snake chews this information over. First floor basement ventilation shaft. Shut those covers as soon as they're done spraying. Also, keep your eye on that woman in the cell. Don't get careless now. The woman being Meryl, of course. Woman in the cell. Additional dialogue if they know there's an intruder. Did something happen? There's an intruder. Really? Soldier A appears fearful. He's already done 3 people. Soldier B looks serious. He's killed 3 people? Yeah. They say he's using stealth too. Snake tilts his head. He has no idea who this could be. Stealth? There's an intruder besides me? It's the ninja. Anyway, I want you to increase the security detail on the chief. Meeting the DARPA Chief 3. The guard. Johnny Sasaki cutscene. Overhead view. Snake makes his way through the ventilation duct in the ceiling of the tank hangar first floor basement B1. As he passes over the toilet, he looks down to see a guard, Johnny Sasaki, talking to himself. Caught a damn cold? Boy, oh boy, that woman is built alright. Meeting the DARPA Chief 4. Prisoner discovered cutscene. Overhead view. Snake continues to make his way through the ventilation duct in the ceiling of the tank hangar B1. He peeps into Meryl's cell. She's doing the kind of hardcore sit-ups a Marine might do. She doesn't say a word. She's completely focused on the exercise. Is that a woman? Not him. Meeting the DARPA Chief 5. DARPA Chief cutscene. Snake continues down the duct. He's discovered the cell of the DARPA Chief, Donald Anderson. It's squalid and poorly lit. Anderson is by himself, sitting on the bed. He's a black man in his 40s, with a muscular build. His white shirt and tie suggest he's a suit, though the shirt isn't so white anymore. It's stained with blood and sweat. Snake opens the grate and drops down. Anderson gets up off the bed. Who's that? I'm here to save you. You're the Darby Chief, Donald Anderson, right? You're here to save me, huh? What's your outfit? Snake holds up his hands to show he isn't carrying a weapon. Even if the pair has acquired a weapon by this point, Snake still raises his hands. I'm the pawn they sent here to save your worthless butt. Really? Anderson looks Snake over, wondering who sent him. He relaxes his guard a little and sits back down on the bed. It's true, you don't look like one of them. In that case, hurry up and get me out of here. Slow down. Don't worry. First, I want some information about the terrorists. The terrorists? Do they really have the ability to launch a nuke? What are you talking about? The terrorists are threatening the White House. They say that if they don't accede to their demands, they'll launch a nuclear weapon. Anderson holds his head in his hands. Sweet Jesus. Is it possible? Anderson turns to the side, looking away from Snake. It's possible. They could launch a nuke. Meryl's still doing her crunches on the bed. Hearing the commotion next door, she stops and gets up. What? Off screen. How do they plan to launch? I thought this place was just for keeping the dismantled warheads. They shouldn't have access to a missile. Snake and the Chief continue. What I'm about to tell you is classified information, okay? Anderson walks up to Snake, looks around nervously, then lowers his voice. We were conducting exercises with a new experimental weapon, a weapon that will change the world. What? A weapon with the ability to launch a nuclear attack from any place on the face of the earth, a nuclear-equipped walking battle tank. Visuals of Metal Gear resting in its hangar. The conversation between the men continues off-screen. Metal Gear? It can't be. You knew? Metal Gear is one of the most secret black projects. How did you know that? We've had a couple of run-ins in the past. So that's the reason you were here at this disposal site? Why else would I come to a godforsaken place like this? I had heard the Metal Gear project was scrapped. On the contrary, it's grown into a huge joint project between Arms Tech and ourselves. We were going to use this exercise as raw data and then proceed to mass production. Anderson leans in, bringing his face close to Snake's, with bitterness. If it hadn't been for the revolution. Octopus slips up, accidentally labeling the terrorist revolt a revolution. Revolution? A little flustered by his mistake, Anderson turns his back to Snake before continuing. Rex is falling into the hands of terrorists. Rex? Anderson turns back around. Metal Gear Rex, the code name for the new Metal Gear prototype. Johnny Sasaki stands guard outside the cell. His attention is drawn to the Chief's voice. Off-screen. They're probably already finished arming the warhead they plan to use with Rex. Anderson continues. These guys are pros. They're all experienced in handling and equipping weapons. Johnny has come to investigate. Hey, shut up in there, will ya? Snake quickly presses himself against the wall. Johnny scopes out the cell through the window. Anderson waves him off as if to say no problems here. Johnny nods and walks away. Anderson moves to the door, making sure he's gone. Snake breathes a sigh of relief. But I thought that all nuclear warheads were equipped with safety measures, some kind of detonation code that you have to input. Anderson turns his head to Snake, his back to the door now. Oh, you mean PAL? Yes, of course, there is a PAL. It's set up so that you need to input 2 different passwords in order to launch the device. There are 2 passwords? Yes, Bigger knows one, and I know one. Bigger, the president of Arms Tech? That's right. Each of us needs to input our password, or there can be no launch. But they found out my password. Snake moves away from the side of the door toward the middle of the cell again. You talked? The chief walks and talks, pointing to his head. Psycho Mantis can read people's minds. You can't resist. Anderson saunters to the bed. Psycho Mantis? One of the members of Foxhound. He has psychic powers. This is bad. Meryl presses her ear to the wall to better eavesdrop on the conversation. Off screen, it's just a matter of time before they get Baker's too. If they find out Baker's password, yes, they'll be able to launch a nuke any time. Snick winces at the worst possible news. Anderson uncrosses his arms and looks up at Snick. But there is a way to stop the launch. What? Anderson gets up off the bed and launches into his spiel crafted to manipulate Snick. The card keys. Card keys? They were designed by ArmsTech, the system developers, as an emergency override. Even without the password, you can just insert the card keys and engage the safety lock. And if I do that, yes, you can stop the launch. Hearing about the key, Meryl pulls back from the wall. She remembers the key she got from the ArmsTech president. That card key. Back to the chief's cell. So, where are the keys? Baker should have them. Meryl paces about her cell, wondering what to do. She can hear the conversation continuing next door. Off screen. Listen, you need 3 card keys. There are 3 different slots to put them in. You need to insert a card into each one of them. Okay, 3 card keys. Do you know where they might be keeping Baker? Somewhere in the second floor basement. Second floor basement? I heard the guards say they moved him to an area that has a lot of electronic jamming. Any other clues? Yes, they cemented over the entrances, but didn't have enough time to paint them. Why don't you look for the areas where the walls are a different colour? Anderson rises and hands Snick the card. Here, take this. It's my ID card. It'll open any level 1 security door. It's called a PAN card. It works together with your body's own electrical field. Personal area network, huh? Okay, so Donald Anderson says it transmits data using the cells in your body as the transmission medium. As you approach the door's security devices, they'll read the data stored in the card, and the doors will open automatically. Gotcha. Snake takes the card. Okay, I'm gonna get you out of here. Wait a minute. What is it? You haven't heard any other way to disarm the PAL, have you? From your bosses or anyone? No. The chief approaches Snake. Are you sure you haven't heard anything? I just said no. So, does the White House plan to give in to the terrorist demands? That's their problem. It has nothing to do with my orders. But what about the Pentagon? Pentagon? Suddenly Anderson is gripped by some terrible pain. He grabs at his chest, writhing in agony. Anderson clings to Snake's shoulders. What is it? Why? Meryl realizes something is wrong. Off screen. Ugh! What's that? She bangs on the door, shouting to the guard. Hey, what happened? The chief's cell. Anderson's face rubs against Snake's body as he falls to his knees, then gradually slides down to the floor. Snake is powerless to help him. Snake checks the chief's neck for a pulse. Nothing. Dead. He contacts Naomi on the Kodak. Meeting the DARPA chiefs. A 6. Post-DARPA chief death Kodak call. Naomi, the chief, what happened? Shaking a little, Naomi replies, I don't know. It looked like a heart attack, but she doesn't remember, including the chief as a target. Campbell replies, a heart attack. No. Snake with distrust. Colonel, are you hiding something from me? Absolutely not. Snake, you've got to understand, this op is security level red. You need the highest security clearance to get access to the complete file. You want me to believe that you're in charge of this op, but you don't have complete access to the file? I told you, the Secretary of Defense is on operational control. I'm just here as your support. Snake says nothing. Campbell, hiding his awkwardness and guilt, replies, Snake, we don't have time to debate. Get out of there and find President Baker. Meeting Merrill. Merrill contact cutscene. Snake ever so carefully sticks his head out of this chief's cell. There's an open space in front of it. Directly ahead is the guard station. To the left is Merrill's cell. The exit door is to the right, but it's closed. Snake looks to his left. Johnny Sasaki lies unconscious and fully naked at that on the floor. Someone has stripped him of his uniform and gear. Snake quickly gets another surprise. The barrel of a FAMAS pointed at his head. Don't move. It's a woman's voice. Snake's speechless. The body of the chief, really decoy octopus lying in the cell. So, you killed the chief, you bastard. Snake slowly pivots to face Merrill. This gives her her first good look at his face. She's taken aback. Liquid? No, you're not. Snake sinks down, trying to get the drop on her. But this doesn't go unnoticed, and Merrill keeps her gun pointed right at Snake. Don't move. Merrill thrusts the FAMAS at Snake. The barrel shakes ever so slightly. Merrill is wearing a light infantry enemy uniform. She and Snake lock eyes. She has on a balaclava, so her eyes are the only part of her face that's visible. Snake says, Is this the first time you've ever pointed a gun at a person? Your hands are shaking. Merrill lets down her guard for only a second, but this is time enough for Snake to draw his gun and point it at her face. If the player doesn't yet have a gun, Snake grabs the barrel of the FAMAS instead. The two stare each other down. Can you shoot me, rookie? Careful, I'm no rookie. Merrill's finger vibrates against the trigger. Liar. That nervous glance, that scared look in your eyes, they're rookie's eyes if I ever saw them. You've never shot a person, am I right? You talk too much. You haven't even taken the safety off, rookie. For the first time, Merrill inadvertently speaks in a feminine manner, i.e. in her natural, unaffected voice. I told you, I'm no rookie. Her breathing gets heavy. You're not one of them, are you? Her and Snake's eyes stay glued as she makes her way to the door on the right. Little by little, she backs up. Open that door. You've got a card, don't you? Why? So we can get the hell out of here. But then the door opens and enemy soldiers come pouring in. Looks like we'll be a little delayed. Tch. Merrill points her gun at the enemies and opens fire. If the player has the SOCOM, Snake readies it. If the player doesn't have the SOCOM, Snake gets into combat stance. Enemies continue to pour into the room. The player must eliminate them. Once the player defeats 3 enemies, Snake urges Merrill to shoot. What are you waiting for? Shoot! Merrill hesitates to fire that first shot, but once she takes out one soldier, it's like the dam has broken, and she takes out others without stopping. Merrill and the player continue to shoot. If the player runs out of ammo, Merrill cleans up the rest. If the player doesn't have a gun, they can engage the enemy through punches and their throws. Once a certain number of soldiers, 4 to 5, have been taken care of, the enemy force is eliminated. Meeting Merrill 2. Merrill flees cutscene. Outside the DARPA chief's cell, Snake and Merrill have taken out all the soldiers. Merrill looks at the open door on the right, making sure that there aren't any reinforcements waiting to come in. Thanks for the help. Merrill goes running out the room. Snake follows her into the corridor. Close-up of Meryl's butt as she runs away. Its movements are decidedly feminine. Wait! She's running toward the elevator at the end of the corridor. She doesn't have to wait. The elevator arrives and its doors open. Who are you? Psycho Mantis's brainwashing music, sung in Russian, becomes audible. Snake experiences psychometric interference, giving him a glimpse into Mantis's mind, leading to a scene from Mantis's POV. Meeting Meryl 3, Mantis mind jump cutscene. The real chief lies on a torture device. He's already dead. The lighting prevents any good look at his face. Standing over the torture device are Ocelot, Mantis, and Liquid. Liquid angrily says, "You fool! You've killed him!" "I'm sorry, sir." Mantis, breathing, says, "His mental shielding was very strong. I couldn't dive into his mind." Liquid impatiently says, "Now we'll never get that detonation code." Mantis says, "Boss, I have a good idea." Shot of an unconscious Meryl. Meeting Meryl 4, Meryl escapes cutscene. Snake's awareness returns to the corridor to reality. The soldier, Meryl, is about to get on the elevator. Snake starts heading toward her. She takes out her sidearm and fires a burst of rounds. Snake drops to the floor to avoid them. Damn! The elevator doors close. Another bout of psychometric interference. Mantis's translucent, ghostly thought form appears, then disappears in front of the elevator. Mantis is wearing a coat. When he disappears, the sound of his breathing through his gas mask lingers in the Snake's ears. Good girl. Just like that. Mantis's brainwashing music, sung in Russian, fades out. Snake contacts Naomi on the codec once more. Meeting Meryl 5. Psychometric interference explanation codec call. Snake says, "Naomi, I just had some kind of hallucination. Is it from the nanomachines?" Naomi says, "No, Snake, the nanomachines are functioning properly." "So what is it?" "It must have been psychometric interference coming from Psycho Mantis, Foxhound's psychic. Think of it as a mental feedback loop." So that was Mantis. Snake now heads to B2 to rescue President Becker. Versus Ocelot 1. Enter Ocelot cutscene. Snake reaches the room where Becker's been held. In the middle of it are 5 pillars made of iron. There's a web of wires running from 4 corner pillars to a center pillar, which stands about 1 meter, 3 feet tall. Tied to it is an elderly man in a suit. It's the Armstack president, Kenneth Becker. He may already be dead. He's motionless, his left hand still clawed around his cane. Am I too late? Snake walks up to Becker. Kenneth. Ooh. Suddenly, he regains consciousness, lifting his head. He's been tortured, having sustained some pretty severe injuries. One of them being to his right arm has been broken, and now rests under his coat instead of in the sleeve. He's alive. Snake gets right up under Becker. You're the Armstack president, Kenneth Baker, right? Baker has just enough strength to muster a slight nod. Don't worry, I'm here to save you. Baker looks at Snake as though there's something he desperately has to tell him. Snake moves his hand to the wires to figure out how to free the president. No, don't touch it. Snake takes a closer look at the wires. The center pillar, where all the wires converge, has been packed with C4. A massive amount of the explosive has been positioned right above Becker's head. C4. The instant Snake spots the C4, a bullet is fired at his feet. Snake takes a step back. Revolver Ocelot's cool, measured footsteps echo in the enclosed space. Right. Touch that wire, and the C4 will blow up along with the old man. Ocelot emerges from behind one of the 4 pillars. Smoke still rises from the revolver he just fired. So, you're the one that the boss keeps talking about. Snake draws back and braces himself. And you? Special Operations Foxhound. Ocelot demonstrates his proficiency with spinning a revolver. He stops and points the barrel of the gun upward. Revolver Ocelot. Ocelot amuses himself with more of his gun spinning. With a quick, clean motion, he holsters the revolver in his gun belt. I've been waiting for you, Solid Snake. Dripping with confidence, Ocelot walks right up to the wires. Now we'll see if the man can live up to the legend. Ocelot draws his revolver from his belt again. This is the greatest handgun ever made, the Colt Single Action Army. He spins the gun 2, then 3 more times, and dumps out the shell casings. They clink to the floor and roll away. 6 bullets, more than enough to kill anything that moves. Ocelot then slams fresh cartridges into the chambers in a blur of speed. Now I'll show you why they call me Revolver. He swings the cylinder back into place, then glares at Snake. Ocelot returns the revolver to its holster with one final flourish. He relaxes his arms by his sides. The only sound in the room is that of his fingers creaking. Draw! Versus Ocelot 2. The Ninja Intrudes cutscene. Snake and Ocelot are in the middle of a heated gun battle. The following is triggered once Snake has dealt a certain amount of damage to Ocelot. 1. If the player has sustained little to no damage, you're pretty good. Just what I'd expect from the man with the same code, double meaning of a shared genetic code and codename, as the boss, Liquid. It's been a long time since I had such a good fight, but I'm just getting warmed up. 2. If the player has sustained a considerable amount of damage, I'm disappointed you're no match for the boss. Playtime's over, friend. You're not cut out for war. Don't worry, I'll kill you quickly. Ocelot points his gun at Snake again, only this time something strikes his hand. Ocelot drops his revolver. In fact, he's dropped more than just the revolver. His right hand lies on the ground, the fingers still gripping the gun. What? Ocelot raises what remains of his right arm. It's been severed from below the elbow. Blood gushes from the wound high into the air. Ocelot struggles to process what has just happened. My hand! An invisible enemy cuts down all the pillars in the room. The only visual indicators are sparks from a concentration of lights. The intruder slices through the center pillar diagonally. With the wires severed, the armstack present is thrown to the ground. A moment later, the pillar slides down its slanted axis and the C4 detonates. The blast slams Ocelot against the wall, delivering a firm blow to the back of the head. Ah! A kind of visual noise travels across the screen, noise that could only come from stealth camouflage. A silhouette appears, highlighted by the flames from the explosion dancing around it. It's the distorted outline of the cyborg ninja brandishing a long sword. Stealth camouflage! The explosion has interfered with his camouflage, causing it to deactivate and reveal his form. Can't you even die right? Ocelot looks over at Snake. You were lucky. We'll meet again. He picks up his revolver and his severed appendage and darts out of the room through a hole in the wall or a door. Snake points his gun at the approaching ninja. The ninja comes ambling out of the blaze. Who are you? I'm like you. I have no name. This voice isn't a product of vocal cords. It's a mechanical, digitized utterance. Baker tries to use his cane to get up. Oh. The ninja directs his blade toward Baker. Baker looks up at him, studying his body. That exoskeleton! Suddenly, as though some memory has come rushing back to him, the ninja looks up at the ceiling and lets out a terrible scream. It's like the roar of a wild beast rather than that of a man. Snake is forced to cover his ears. With astonishing power, the ninja jumps up toward the ceiling and fades from view. Snake watches him leave. The sound of the ninja's leaps bounces across the room. Who the hell? vs. Ocelot 3, rescuing the Armstack President cutscene. With both Ocelot and the Ninja gone, Snake and Armstack President Kenneth Becker are alone in the room the latter was confined to. Snake helps Becker up. Despite his best efforts and Snake's assistance, Becker still struggles to stand. Can you talk? Snake lends him his shoulder. Who are you? I'm not one of them. They talk as they walk to the north side of the room. The DARPA chief told me he gave them his detonation code. What about yours? Oh, I get it. Jim sent you. You're from the Pentagon. Answer my question. Becker, reluctant to answer, hangs his head. This doesn't stop Snake. He asks again. What about your code? There's no time. I talked. What? Now the terrorists have both codes and can launch any time. Snake lets out his irritation as he looks at the Armstack President. He offers up an excuse, clearly still rattled by what he's been through. It's not like I didn't fight. I managed to resist Psycho Mantis's mind probe. He couldn't read you? How'd you do it? Now sitting against the wall, Becker lies his legs flat against the ground, making himself more comfortable. Surgical implants in my brain. Surgical implants? Kind of like a psychic insulation. Everyone who knows these top secret codes has it. Even the DARPA chief? Of course. But the DARPA chief said Mantis got his code by reading his mind. Are you sure you heard him right? Yeah, I'm sure. In that case, how did they get your code? Bitterly. I never had any training on how to resist torture. Becker lets out a small cough. There's blood on his chin. It looks like he had some fun with you, all right. He's not human, I tell you. He loved every second of it. Snake points to Becker's arm. What happened to your arm? He broke it. Looks like you're more than even now. His was sliced off. Ha! You're a funny man. Becker used his cane to sit up straight. So, the DARPA chief, is he okay? Dead. Becker looks into Snake's eyes. What? From Becker's expression, something about this didn't add up. It can't be. Becker explodes into a fit of agitation, whacking Snake on the leg with his cane repeatedly. You know, that's not what you promised, Jim. Now you want to shut me up. Snake grabs the cane and pushes back against Becker. Calm down. Becker slumps to the floor. What's wrong with you? I just told you I was here to save you. Kenneth doesn't say anything. I didn't kill the DARPA chief. He had a heart attack or something. Kenneth is extremely doubtful. Replies, a heart attack? Oh, don't be a fool. Becker's shoulders droop and he hangs his head. Anyway, the terrorists have both codes now. Those boys are totally insane. They wouldn't hesitate to launch. I agree, but what do they really want? Who knows? Maybe they're like us in the arms industry, always looking forward to the next good war. Snake approaches the door to the armory. He continues to talk while keeping an eye on the door. Well, I'm not going to let these maniacs start a war today. Do you still have the card keys? Card keys? To override the detonation code. I heard you had them. No, not anymore. Snake turns back toward Becker. What? So who does then? Not the terrorists. No, that woman. Woman? Who? A soldier that was thrown in prison along with me. A female soldier. It must be. She said that she had just joined up as a new recruit. They threw her in prison because she refused to take part in the rebellion. A new recruit? Could that be the colonel's niece? I gave her the key. Looks like she managed to break out of here, though. I hope she's okay. Snake walks back to Becker. I'm sure she is. She's green, but as tough as they come. But how did you know she escaped? I was in contact with her by Kodak, until I was tied up here, that is. Kodak? Yes, she stole it from the guard. If she still has it, you should be able to contact her. Snake gives a firm nod. I'm sure she still has it. What frequency was she at? Oh yeah, let me tell you. It's... Oh sorry, I forgot. Damn. Snake slaps both his knees and stands back up. Becker follows Snake with his eyes. Oh, that's right. It should be on the back of the CD case. Try to contact her. I'll contact her right away, but tell me, if this doesn't work, is there some other way to prevent the missile launch? Becker nods as he answers Snake's question. You need to find Hal Emmerich, one of my employees. Who's that? The team leader of the Metal Gear Rex project, a genius at engineering but a little bit of an oddball. If there's anyone who can figure out how to stop Metal Gear from launching, it's him. What if he can't come up with anything? Becker looks up at Snake. You'll have to destroy it. Emmerich knows how to destroy Metal Gear. Where is this Emmerich? Well, he's probably being held somewhere in the nuclear warhead stores building. It's north from here. That's where he worked. Snake walks back and forth in front of Becker again. I understand, but why Metal Gear? The nuclear age ended with the turn of the millennium. You're wrong. The threat of nuclear war isn't gone. In fact, it's greater than it's ever been. Scenes of nuclear weapons being decommissioned, news footage of smaller countries armed with nukes, etc. Reel after reel of black and white news footage. Becker spouts off about the situation. The amount of spent nuclear fuel and plutonium is increasing even today. Listen, have you ever seen a warehouse full of nuclear material? No. Drums and drums of nuclear waste stacked this high as far as you can see because there's still no real way to dispose of the stuff. So they just close the lid and try to pretend like it'll go away. Essentially, yes, and they're not even doing a good job of storing it. Many of the drums are corroded with nuclear waste seeping out of them. Unbelievable. Not only that, several pounds of MUF are reported every year. MUF? It stands for material unaccounted for. It proves that there's a large and well organised black market in nuclear materials. Furthermore, since the end of the Cold War, Russian nuclear engineers in particular are out of work with nowhere to turn. Becker continues. In other words, there's plenty of available nuclear material and scientists for making a bomb. We live in an age when any small country can have a nuclear weapons program. What about the other superpowers? Russia and China still maintain a significant nuclear presence. Complete nuclear disarmament is an impossibility. To maintain our own policy of deterrence, we need a weapon of overwhelming power. Visuals of Metal Gear Rex, dormant in its hangar, Snake and Becker continue to speak over them. You mean Metal Gear? Yes. You know, our industry suffered quite a blow as a result of the cuts in military budgets due to this so-called peace. I remember hearing a lot about mergers and takeovers among the big weapons makers. Yes, and after my company lost our bid to produce the Air Force's next line of fighter jet, the Metal Gear system was our last ace in the hole. That's why we pushed to have Metal Gear developed as a black project. Black project? Secret projects paid for by the Pentagon's black budget. You can avoid a lot of red tape and get a great lead time on your weapons production, and no one can bother you. Not even those bleeding heart liberals on the Military Oversight Committee. Bribes. I prefer to think of it as good business. Anyway, Metal Gear was going to be formally adopted after the results of this exercise were analysed. Snake approaches Becker. I don't give a crap about you and your company. Yes, that's about what I'd expect from a grunt like you. Here, this is what you came for, right? Becker removes an optical disc from his coat sleeve. Close up of a disc. What's that? An optical disc. It's all here. The main hard drive was destroyed by gunfire. This is the only remaining copy of the data. What kind of data? All the data collected from this exercise. Don't play dumb. I know you were sent to get this. I hid it from that sadistic maniac while he was torturing me. They don't know that this disc exists. Make sure that you report this to Jim, to your boss. Snake doesn't say anything. I'll give you my card too. It'll open up all security level 2 doors. Becker gives Snake a level 2 card. Snake places a hand on Becker's shoulder. Can you walk? No. You go on without me. Becker looks worse than before. His face has lost even more of its colour. They got my password. They don't want anything else from me. I have one more question. Who or what was that ninja thing? It looked like you knew something. Becker clutches his chest. His breathing grows heavy. That ninja? That was Foxhound's dark little secret. Dark little secret? An experimental genome soldier. You know him? Becker coughs again. He repositions himself. You should ask Dr. Naomi Hunter from Foxhound. Naomi? Snake comes back around in front of Baker. You've got to stop them. If it goes public, my company and I are finished. What? Doesn't Metal Gear use currently existing technology? Metal Gear itself does, but suddenly Baker is in agony. Huh? Snake goes to touch Baker but stops himself. Baker presses his hand against his chest. What did you do to me? He grabs at Snake. Snake backs away. Oh no. Oh no. It can't be. Those Pentagon bastards. So they actually went and did it? What are you talking about? Snake can't believe this is happening again. Baker's able to grab him by the collar. They're just using you for Baker's struggling stops. Foxday has claimed another victim. His body continues to twitch briefly before becoming still. What the hell? This is the second person to die under mysterious circumstances since Snake's mission began. Snake calls Campbell versus Ocelot 4. Armstack President post-death Kodak call. Colonel, are you listening? Now he's dead too. I have no idea. Don't lie to me. It looked like another heart attack, but some kind of poison. Well, there are lots of drugs that can cause a heart attack in large doses. For example, potassium chloride or dioxides, but we won't be able to tell without doing an autopsy. Damn. Snake, I want you and Meryl to work together. Can I trust her? More than you can trust me. Snake doesn't say anything. Get in contact with her. Snake, there's a lot of electrical interference coming from there. It should be okay if you do burst transmission like us, but normal transmission is probably impossible. Try moving away from that area. Snake, get a hold of yourself. Naomi, what the hell was that ninja thing? She doesn't say anything. A member of Foxhound? No. Are you sure? Yes, we have no one like that in our unit. Is that right? Snake, I'm counting on you. Colin Merrill 1. Colin Merrill Kodak call. Merrill appears in the Kodak window. She's still wearing the balaclava. Who are you? I was really impressed with the way you busted yourself out of there. The one from the prison? You're the Colonel's niece, Merrill, right? No, it's not him. She thought Snake was liquid. Just exactly who are you? I'm the fool that your uncle sent all alone into the middle of this whole mess. You came by yourself? You think you're some kind of one-man army? If Blair didn't have the SOCOM at the time, you're not even armed. I appreciate your help from before, but I don't need lectures. You're just like your uncle, you know. How do you know my uncle? We go way back. What's your name? My name's not important. Aha! Merrill remembers Snake. Could you be Snake? Are you Solid Snake? That's what some people called me. The legendary Solid Snake? You? Merrill removes the balaclava, revealing a fresh face that matches her inexperience. Merrill sounds a little starstruck. Her tone suddenly becomes much more familiar. Sorry about before. I wasn't sure if you were one of the good guys, but I knew you were. How? Snake thinks back to their stare down outside the cell. If load times aren't an issue, play a flashback of the cutscene where Snake encounters Merrill. Add a sepia filter and some blur. It's your eyes. My eyes? They're not soldiers' eyes. They're rookies' eyes, right? No, they're beautiful, compassionate eyes. Oh, just what I'd expect from the legendary Solid Snake. You trying to sweep me off my feet? Don't worry, you'll land back on them once you meet me. The reality is no match for the legend, I'm afraid. Oh, I don't believe that. Why did you look so surprised when you saw my face? Because you look just like him. You mean the terrorist leader, Liquid Snake? Yeah, you know him. You're not brothers, are you? I have no family. So what's the deal then? Who knows? Why didn't you ask him? But first, I want some information. You were involved in this exercise from the beginning. What exactly happened here? Somewhat baffled. I'm sorry. I was captured along with President Baker right after the terrorist attack. That's okay, but what is this place? I don't think it's just a nuclear weapons disposal facility. Merrill can't believe Snake had to ask such a question. Boy oh boy, it's just like them. Nobody's told you anything, did they? Okay. You see, this place isn't really for disposing nuclear weapons. This base is owned and operated by a dummy corporation of Armstack. This is a civilian base, right, for the development of Metal Gear. Colonel. Foxhound and the Next Generation Special Forces were called here for the test launching of a dummy nuclear warhead. Why Foxhound? Because they're a special ops group used to handling top secret missions. They figured they could help keep it all hush hush. But we must have fired nuclear warheads before. Why just this time? I heard it was because this was to be a final test before the formal adoption of the Metal Gear program. That's what I heard anyway. Sounds kind of fishy. So what do you think the terrorists want? Apologetically, she says, sorry, I'm not sure. I was captured with President Becker right after the revolt started. Oh yeah, that's when he gave you the detonation code override keys, right? That's right. Amazing you were able to keep him hidden from the guards. Well, women have more hiding places than men. Anyway, you met Baker, huh? How's he holding up? He's dead. What? Heart attack, same as the DARPA chief? Remembering the sight of the chief's body lying in the cell, Mel cocks her head in puzzlement. The chief died from a heart attack too? Yeah. Was either of them sick or anything? No, not that I heard of. Well, I don't believe in coincidences. Something funny's going on here. Sounds like it, but I have no idea what. Me neither, yet. Snake pauses briefly. Do you know the person who designed Metal Gear? You mean Dr. Emmerich? Yes. Is he still alive? Probably. He should be in the research lab in the second floor basement of the nuclear warhead storage building to the north. Second floor basement? Yeah, that's where his lab is. I think they're forcing him to work on the nuclear launching program. So they'll need him alive until that's done anyway. Then we'd better do something before he finishes. You're right. In case we can't override the detonation code in time, I need to ask him how to destroy Metal Gear. Surprised by Snake's rashness. You plan to take that thing on by yourself, Snake? Nonchalantly. It won't be the first time. What's the best way to get to the building where the doctor's being held? There's a cargo door on the first floor of this building that leads to the north. What's the security level of the door there? 5, but it's okay. I've got a level 5 card. Well, I've got to go save the doctor. You should go. I'm going with you. No way, you're still too green. I want you to hide somewhere. I'm not green. Oh yes you are. Didn't say anything. You pause for just 1 second in front of your enemy and it's all over. Good luck doesn't last forever. Having this failure pointed out by Snake stings, Meryl's head drops. I don't know what happened, I just couldn't pull the trigger right away. I never had any problems in training, but when I thought about my bullets turning through those soldiers' bodies, I hesitated. Shooting at targets and shooting at living, breathing people are different. Ever since I was a little girl, I always dreamed about being a soldier. Every day of my life, I've trained my mind and body for the one day when I could finally see some real action, and now... So what now? You want to quit? Meryl mutters to herself, like she needs to hear herself say it. I can't quit. I can't allow myself to quit now. Listen, Meryl, everybody feels sick the first time they kill someone. Unfortunately, killing is one of those things that gets easier the more you do it. In a war, all of mankind's worst emotions, worst traits come out. It's easy to forget what a sin is in the middle of a battlefield. But this isn't a war, it's a terrorist action. You're just a little jumpy from the combat high. The adrenaline in your bloodstream is starting to thin out. Just take it easy. But I learned all about combat high at the academy. We'll talk about it later. For now, just think about keeping yourself alive. Meryl forces herself to refocus on the situation at hand. If I get out of here alive, I'll think about that other stuff. Okay, let me try to say this another way. Stay the hell out of my way. This gets Meryl smiling again. You're a real bastard, just like my uncle said. Ha, I told you, the real me is no match for the legend. It looks like you were right. The two of them share a laugh. Okay, Snake, I'll be a good girl. We'll link up after I grab the doctor, then we'll take care of the detonation code override. Gotcha, but listen, I know this area better than you. Call me if you have any questions. Be careful, okay? After I open up the cargo door, I'll contact you. Calling Meryl too. Meryl opens the door codec call. Snake, I unlocked the cargo door for you. Thanks, where are you? Where I can see you. Don't move around too much. Don't worry, I'm disguised in this enemy uniform. Mel puts the balaclava back on. Snake remembers the way she wiggles her hips when she walks. You won't be for long with the way you walk. What does that mean? Oh, nothing. Listen, Snake, the cargo door is like an airlock. It's equipped with infrared sensors. Be careful. If an intruder is sensed, gas is released. Gas? Okay, so we'll meet at the nuclear warhead storage building. Wait, you said you'd stay put and be a good girl. I changed my mind. Don't get careless. That's when things always turn sour. Sorry, but this is the only way I can figure out whether or not I'm cut out to be a soldier. I gotta get my hands dirty. These guys are professionals. You're gonna get yourself killed. See you there. M1 tank battle 0. Deep throat Kodak call. Snake emerges from the tank hangar. Mandatory incoming call after proceeding north for a bit. Snake, be careful. There are claymore mines around there. Use a mine detector. Who are you? Just call me Deep Throat. Deep Throat? The informant from the Watergate scandal? Never mind about that. You're not using burst transmission. Are you nearby? Listen, there's a tank in front of your position waiting to ambush you. Who are you anyway? One of your fans. Yep, his number one fan. From the previous game. M1 Tank Battle 1. The tank rolls in. Cutscene. From the north exit of the hangar, it's a straight shot through a canyon to the north to the nuclear warhead storage building further north. The sheer walls of the canyon extend all the way to the storage building. Both the hangar and the storage building exteriors, bedrock, are blanketed by frozen snow. Only the entrances are visible. The storage building in particular is mostly bedrock. Just the door can be seen, which resembles those used with bomb shelters. The blizzard continues to send snow everywhere. POV shot of Snake looking ahead. He spots a mound of snow. He then sees an MIA-2 tank coming over it, spraying snow behind it. Snake flinches. The tank comes to a stop on the mound. The north end of the snowy canyon. The tank's hatch pops open, and Vulcan Raven sticks his head out just enough that he can see ahead, his eyes resting right above the hatch opening. He has a tattoo of a raven on his forehead. This is Raven's territory. A conspiracy of ravens circles overhead. Now Raven's entire upper body emerges from the tank. He looks at Snake as he mutters, "Snakes don't belong in Alaska. I will not let you pass." But you are not Gandalf the Grey. Raven peers down into the tank and, without a trace of emotion, issues an order to one of the operators. Send him a message. The tank's smoothbore gun swivels towards Snake. It's now pointing right at him. The gun fires. Half a second later, the shell lands at Snake's feet. Snake is blown backward, hitting the ground hard. Raven laughs triumphantly. Ha 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 ha. That's right, you belong on the ground. You should crawl on the ground like the snake you are. The south side of the canyon. Snake gets back up and observes the tank. Its gun turns towards Snake's new position. Come, let's fight. Raven slams the hatch shut. M1 Tank Battle 2 versus Tank post-victory cutscene. Snake uses plastic explosives and hand grenades to stop the tank. He loots a card that will open the door to the nuclear warhead storage building from one of the crewmen. White plumes of smoke rise from the hatch as well as what remains of the tank's tracks. The vehicle now stands as a temporary monument to the battle that just took place. Overhead view from the Raven's positions high in the air. Snake passes through the door to the storage building. Vulcan Raven sticks his head out the hatch of the MIA-2 tank once more. He's bleeding from his forehead. A Raven dances down and perches on his shoulder. Raven speaks in his radio, sore about the encounter. "Well, boss, I hope you're happy. You got the card." Liquid's voice comes in over the receiver. We'll play with him a little longer. You would be wise not to underestimate him. What did you think of him? He is just as you said. In battle, he is as if possessed by a demon. Much like you, I would expect no less. Ocelot cuts into the conversation. You see, I told you so, but I will kill him. So, General Ivan, I hear he took your hand as well as your dignity. What's your tongue, shaman? In the language of the Sioux people, Sioux means snake. It is known as an animal to be feared. Well, Snake is mine now. When I meet him next, I'll take special care of him. Not yet. Don't kill him yet. He and I will meet again in battle. Same protection as always? Yes, the raven on my head. It thirsts for his blood. Raven closes the hatch. The raven that was perched on his shoulder flies away, cawing ominously. Footnotes: medical treatment that repairs genes responsible for disease. Acronym for Defence Advanced Research Projects Agency. Conducts R&D on technology with military applications. 3. Acronym for Continuity of Government. Procedure whereby, in the event of a nuclear attack on the United States, a group of around 100 government officials are to take refuge in underground bunkers to ensure the country's government will continue to operate. 4. Acronym for the National Security Agency, an intelligence gathering agency for the United States Department of Defense. Established in 1952, it specializes in communications intelligence activities aimed at protecting America's national security through wiretapping, spy satellites, and other resources. 5. Acronym for the Defense Intelligence Agency, operating under the direct supervision of the United States Secretary of Defense. The DIA is an umbrella organization that exercises authority over the intelligence agencies of the Army, Navy, and Air Force. 6. Acronym for a group of banned weapons, nuclear, biological, chemical. 7. Acronym for the British Army's Special Air Service, one of the most elite counter-terrorism units in the world. 8. Acronym for the Secret Intelligence Service, a British intelligence agency also known as MI6, Military Intelligence Section 6, the equivalent to the CIA. It engages in foreign intelligence gathering. 9. The headquarters building for the United States Department of Defense, its name coming from the shape of the building, the nerve center of America's national defense. Kodak conversations. Campbell prior to getting on the elevator. Cargo dock basics. Snake, don't forget this is a covert operation. There are lots of bad guys and only one of you. If you're spotted, you'll be surrounded before you know it. First time only. If that happens, you're finished. Second and subsequent times. First, go to the elevator in the back, take it up to the ground floor, then look for the DARPA chief. In front of container or pipe, incoming call. Snake, you have to crawl to get through there. First, crouch down by pressing the crawl button and use the directional button to crawl in the direction you want. First time only. Be careful though. Crawling is slow and you can't attack when you're doing it either. You can stand up by pressing the crawl button again. In the water. The O2 gauge is automatically displayed whenever you're underwater or surrounded by gas. It represents one breath. When the O2 gauge reaches zero, your life gauge will begin to go down. Near puddle. Snake, don't run over puddles. The splashing sound might alert your enemies. Be careful. Near elevator. First time only. Snake, there's an elevator there you can take up to the ground. If the elevator has arrived, get on the elevator. It should take you right to the front of the nuclear weapon disposal facility. Be careful though. If the elevator hasn't arrived, you'll just have to wait for the elevator to come down. You'd better hide somewhere. If the elevator has arrived but it won't move since the player has been spotted by the enemy, or you're being chased, Snake, the elevators won't work when you're in either evasion or alert mode. Shake the enemies off somehow. Campbell, prior to entering heliport basics. Snake, your mission is to infiltrate, not to fight. Don't let the enemy see you. First time only if the player has been spotted by the enemy. You didn't waste any time in getting spotted, did you? Too bad, it looks like your cover's blown. Proceed with extreme caution. End of branching the dialogue. First, you've got to rescue the
DARPA chief. Infiltrate the building in the front. Look for some way to get in. Near searchlight. Snake. They're using a searchlight to sweep the area. Make sure you stay out of the beam. Heliport near elevator. There's no turning back now, Snake. You've got a job to do and you're our only hope. The world is counting on you. Heliport near truck. It looks like a cargo truck. They must use it for transporting goods around the base. A player has obtained a cardboard box but hasn't used it to change locations yet. Snake, why don't you try to hide in the truck? If you disguise yourself as part of the cargo, you might be able to use the truck to get around. Heliport in front of the main door. Snake, you'll never be able to get through the front door. Find some other way to get in. Near door or duct. Incoming call. That base must have some kind of ventilation system to recirculate the air. There should be air ducts around there somewhere. First time only. They must need a lot of power to run the base. There's probably a diesel generator somewhere, and since generating electricity requires oxygen, there must be exhaust openings for that too. You're not going to believe this, but they shot down the F-16s we were using as the diversion with the Hind D. Then we got a message from Liquid. He said if we try something like that again, he'll launch the nuke. Snake, hurry up and get in there. That Hind will be coming back soon. Campbell, prior to meeting the DARPA chief. Tank Hangar 2F, surveillance camera. A or B at random. A. Watch out for that surveillance camera. You can probably jam it temporarily with your chaff. B. There should be a blind spot underneath that camera. You'll be okay if you stay flat up against the wall. Tank Hangar 2F, noisy walkway. Don't make too much noise or you'll be spotted. Be careful when you're walking on that floor. Tank Hangar, soldier who's nodded off. Even though the genome soldiers are strengthened by gene therapy, they still need to sleep. You can move safely while they're napping. First time only. The genome soldiers were specially trained so they can enter into a light sleep anytime and still remain in attack posture. Be careful not to make noise when you're near them. Second and subsequent times, when they're yawning, their eyes are closed, so they shouldn't be able to see you. Be careful with your timing and you'll be okay. Obtain a weapon. Good, you got yourself a weapon. To use it, first hold down the weapon equip button to enter weapon mode, then select the weapon you want with the directional button. After you've selected the weapon you want, let go of the weapon equip button to exit weapon mode. The weapon you selected should appear in your hand. To use the weapon, follow the directions displayed in the window. If you can use the weapon quick change button, you can equip your weapon more quickly while you're bare-handed. Press the weapon quick change button to equip the last weapon you used. Press the weapon quick change button while you're holding a weapon to be bare-handed again. Only if the player doesn't have a suppressor. Don't fire your gun needlessly or you might be discovered. If you had a gun with a suppressor, it would be a different story. If the player hasn't called Nastasia yet. If you have any questions about the weapons or equipment, you should ask our military analyst Nastasia. Her frequency is 141.52. In front of the elevator. Snake, use the elevator to move from floor to floor. To call the elevator, press the button on the nearby control panel by pressing the action button. The elevator should show up in no time. Before the DARPA chief's location cutscene. Snake, first you've got to find the DARPA chief. Look for clues. After the DARPA chief location's cutscene, 2F duct. Snake, didn't you hear that the DARPA chief was moved to a cell in the first floor basement inside the elevator? Use the elevator to change floors. To select the floor you want to go to, use the control panel inside the elevator on the left. Press up or down on the directional button to choose the floor, then press the action button to confirm or the crawl button to cancel. Be careful, the elevator won't work in either alert mode or revision mode. The prison before the DARPA chief cutscene. Incoming call. Snake, look at your radar. We've picked up the DARPA chief's signal. Can you see the green dot flashing on your radar? That's coming from the transmitter in the chief's body. That's where you'll find him. It looks like the chief is being held in a cell. Find some way to get in there. Hurry up and get him out. After picking up the DARPA chief's signal, if the player calls from somewhere other than B1. Snake, didn't you pick up the DARPA chief's signal in the first floor basement? Prison door before the DARPA chief cutscene. Snake, that door is protected by a security system. It won't open without the right security card. There must be some other way to get in. Take a look around. The best way to do that is to use first person view mode. Press the first person view mode to go into first person view mode. Prison duct. Near DARPA chief. Incoming call. Snake, the DARPA chief signal is coming from somewhere in that area. Isn't there some place to drop down? Take a look around in first-person view mode. Campbell, prior to Ocelot battle. Tank hanger, after DARPA chief cutscene. First time only. Sorry Snake, but it looks like the rescue was a failure. There's no reason to stay in that cell anymore. Second and subsequent times. Snake, get out of there and go to the second floor basement. You've got to rescue the president of Armstack, Kenneth Becker, before the terrorists find out his detonation code. Merrill or prison battle, incoming call. If player doesn't fire after a certain amount of time. Snake, what are you doing? Take care of the bad guys and get the hell out of there. If player has a weapon, you better use that weapon you found. If player doesn't have a weapon, try to pick up an enemy's fallen weapon. Prison after Merrill escapes. First time only. Snake, Second Mantis has the power to read people's minds. He got the DARPA chief's detonation code. Hurry up or he'll get Becker's code too. That's right, if the terrorists get Becker's code, they'll be able to launch that nuke anytime they want. Cuts off. Yeah, they'll use Metal Gear to do it. Colonel, did you know they were conducting a military exercise here using Metal Gear? I didn't know. Really? Snake, you've got to understand, I'm just a middleman in this operation. Second and subsequent times. Anyway, hurry up and get to the second floor basement. You've got to save the Armstack president before the terrorists find out his code. Armory before destroying wall. The walls that were cemented over should look slightly different. Look at the walls carefully in first person view mode. Try to find the walls that have a different pattern. First time only. Did you try hitting the wall? Maybe it'll sound different too. If player doesn't have C4, you need some kind of explosive to destroy the wall, like C4 or something. Take a good look around the armory. If the player does have C4, those C4 explosives you've got should be able to destroy the walls that were cemented over. After destroying wall, good, looks like it worked. If what the DARPA chief said is true, President Becker should be up ahead. Hurry up and get him out of there. After destroying wall somewhere other than the armory's south. President Becker should be somewhere to the south of where you blasted through the wall. Hurry and save him before the terrorists discover his code. After destroying wall, armory south. President Becker should be somewhere around there. Hurry up and find him. Also, you can't use your radar around there. Mei Ling says it's because of electronic jamming. If you want to know more, ask her. Campbell. Prior to calling Merrill, Armory South, Ocelot battle, first time only. If you've got a question about the Foxhound, ask Dr. Naomi. Revolver Ocelot is a former member of Spetsnaz. After the fall of the Soviet Union, he apparently served in the Russian tax police's elite SWAT team. After that, he joined the SVR, the Russian Foreign Intelligence Agency, which was formerly a part of the KGB, but according to my sources, he was dissatisfied with the rigid system of the KGB and wanted to get out. That's when he was recruited by Foxhound. He's a gun fanatic and totally obsessed with cowboy movies and spaghetti westerns. He's also something of a sadist. He learned the most advanced torture techniques while he was with Spetsnaz. Yeah, he had plenty of practice. The Lubyanka prison is located right there inside KGB headquarters. Second and subsequent times, A, B, C, D, or E at random. A. Make sure President Becker doesn't get hurt. If he's killed, it's all over. Try not to cross over that yellow line or you might set off the explosion. B. In a gunfight, reloading is usually the most dangerous time, but he loves it. Use that to your advantage. You'll have to take him out when he's reloading. Can you see where his number of remaining bullets is displayed on the screen? Wait for the right moment and then take him out. C. You might also try to phase him with a stun grenade. D. If you get too close to Ocelot, he'll run away and shoot you from distance, so be careful. E. Don't forget that President Becker's there. He's wrapped up in C4, so don't use any type of explosive near him. Army South. Gun camera. Snake, there are gun cameras set up there. If they detect you, they'll open fire. Stay out of the camera's field of visions. You could also try to jam them with chaff. Army, FAMAS. It looks like the place is protected by infrared sensors. Somehow you'll have to make it past the beams. Armory near pitfall. Snake, be careful. There are trapdoors near there and the fall will kill you. Stay close up against the wall and you should be okay. First time only. You should be able to see where the trapdoors are if you use your thermal goggles before contacting Merrill, somewhere other than Armory South. First time only. The DARPA chief and President Baker, so now the terrorists know both detonation codes. Very puzzled. Yeah. And on top of that, they both died right in front of my eyes. Snake, now that the terrorists have both detonation codes, the only way to stop a nuclear launch is to either use the detonation code release keys that Meryl's holding or find the Metal Gear chief engineer that President Baker mentioned, Hal Emmerich, second and subsequent times. In any case, you should contact Meryl by Kodak. Wasn't her frequency written on the back of the CD case? First time calling after having called Meryl, first time only. Don't worry, Colonel. Meryl is safe. Relieved. Thank God. Meryl is a very strong woman. I really respect her. She's got plenty of heart. Thanks, Nick. Not so fast. The real mission is still ahead. Second and subsequent times. Rescuing that Metal Gear engineer is now your primary goal. When Meryl opens up the cargo door, I want you to head north. After Meryl opens the cargo door. Meryl contacted you, didn't she? Go through the cargo door in the north part of the hangar. Head for the warhead storage building. Campbell, prior to M1 tank battle. Canyon before tank battle. If you go north from there, you should come to the warhead storage building. Dr. Emmerich is probably being held there. If you got to save him, find out how to destroy Metal Gear. Canyon minefield. If player doesn't have the mine detector. A minefield, huh? You'll need a mine detector. Meryl knows the base like the back of her hand. Why don't you ask her? If player does have the mine detector. A minefield, huh? Don't forget to use your mine detector. When you find out where a mine is, crawl forward and try to recover it after deep throat calls. First time only. Colonel, I got a Kodak call from someone outside this operation. I know we were monitoring the call. Mei Ling knows everything about the communication system, so let me have her explain it to you. Well, if somebody knows your frequency, they can call you, but the question is, how did he learn it? It's top secret information. So you mean someone leaked the information? That's the only explanation I can think of. Mei Ling, do you know where that transmission originated from? I'm sorry, the radio waves were too weak to locate their source, but I'm sure he's near you, somewhere on the base. Second and subsequent times. Snake, you'll have to go through the minefield to advance. Campbell, prior to entering nuclear warhead storage building, M1 battle tank. First time before calling Nastasia. Snake, look for that tank's main gun. Look out for that tank's main gun. It'll pulverize you. There should be some way. Ask Nastasia. She knows everything there is to know about weapon systems. Second time after calling Nastasia. A tank can't operate by itself. It's actually a fairly delicate weapon. Don't worry. You've got at least a fighting chance. Ask Nastasia what she thinks. Third and subsequent times after calling Nastasia. You can't get to the warhead storage building unless you beat the tank stack. You've got to destroy it. Mei Ling, prior to meeting the DARPA chief, intrusion mode. Sorry, the Soliton radar won't work in our space. Too much harmonic resonance. The radio waves produce interference and we can't analyze the topographic data. Try to hang on until you get to a more open space, okay? DARPA chief, after location cutscene. You find out where the DARPA chief is. With his nanomachine transmitter, he should show up as a green dot on your radar when you get close. Try to find him. Prison, incoming call. Look at the radar, it's picking up the DARPA chief. He's the green dot. Hurry and rescue him. Mei Ling, prior to the Ocelot battle, right after DARPA chief's death, incoming call. The DARPA chief, poor man, he has a heart attack right after you save him. I'm getting a bad feeling about this, Snake. Maybe you should let me save your mission. Armory. Snake, you can't use your radar in that area. There's some kind of electronic jamming coming from there. I wonder what it is. Anyway, be careful. Mei Ling, prior to M1 tank battle. Canyon, after deep throat calls. First time only. Mei Ling, how can someone outside of this operation cut into my Kodak? You're talking about that guy calling himself Deep Throat? We were monitoring from here. What about it? Well, if somebody knows your frequency, they can call you. But the question is, how did he learn it? It's top secret information. Can you tell where you call from? I'm sorry, but the signal is too weak to locate its source. But I'm sure he's near you, somewhere on the base. Nastasia, first call. This is Nastasia Romanenko. A pleasure to work with you, Solid Snake. You're the nuclear specialist that the Colonel mentioned? That's me. You can ask me anything about nukes that you want. I'm also a military analyst, so I have an extensive knowledge of weapon systems as well. They asked me to participate in this operation as a supervisor from the Nuclear Emergency Search Team. I was happy to accept. We must not allow terrorists to get their hands on nuclear weapons of any kind. I hope I can help you to stop them. You're a tough lady. Seriously, those terrorists are serious about launching a nuclear weapon. The world cannot stand idly by and allow that to happen, and neither can I. Unfortunately, all I can do from here is provide you with information. Candy, while acknowledging Nastasia's enthusiasm. Hopefully that'll be enough. Another soldier here wouldn't make a difference anyway. It's good to work with you, Nastasia. Same here, Snake. Nastasia, prior to meeting the DARPA chief, Tank Hangar 2F surveillance camera. Security cameras. That is the wireless type which transmits visual data to a central security area. If you use chaff, you will be able to disable it. Nastasia, prior to Ocelot battle, Army South, gun camera area. Snake, there are gun cameras somewhere around there. They'll open fire automatically if they detect you. Be careful. You should be able to confuse their sensors briefly with your chaff. Get past them while they are disabled. If a player has stinger missiles, you could also destroy them with your stinger missiles. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I really hope I can finish reading this before my niece comes in. Probably won't, because it'll be in an hour. It's taking ages doing all this reading. Okay, so where was I? Nastasha, prior to calling Merrill, Armory Farmer's room, infrared sensors. Snake, that room is set with infrared sensors. You should be able to see them if you had some smoke, cigarette smoke or something. First time only. Sorry, but these are smokeless cigarettes. You mean those cigarettes that are designed to cut down on secondhand smoke? Oh well. Don't worry, if you blow the smoke in the direction of the infrared sensors, you should be able to see them. That was a good idea bringing the cigarettes, but don't smoke too much. Cigarettes make you weak, in mind and body. They are bad for you. Armory Scythe, Ocelot bottle, first time only. With some surprise. Nastasha says, he's using a single-action army. The first model of that gun was made in 1873, over 130 years ago. Today they're still being made in small numbers, but that's just for collectors and such. Nobody uses them in combat anymore. Second and subsequent times. The biggest drawback to revolver-style handguns is the reload time. That's your chance. Nastasha, prior to M1 tank battle. Canyon, after hearing about Minefield. That area is mined. If player doesn't have the mine detector. If only you had the mine detector. If player does have the mine detector. After you locate the mines on your radar, crawl forward and retrieve them. Be right back. Branching dialogue. First time only. Anti-personnel mines have killed over 20,000 non-combatants in the past 30 years. In countries like Cambodia and Nicaragua, the killing and maiming of innocent victims continues long after the wars have ended. It is easy to plant the mines, you see, but removing them is a different matter. It requires more time and manpower than anyone is willing to invest. The superpowers need to donate more mine detectors and other equipment to remove them. It is the least we could do after laying them. Nastasha, prior to entering nuclear warhead storage building. Canyon, M1 tank bottle. First time money. That M1 tank is equipped with advanced electronics. Once it locks onto a target, it automatically tracks it, and its main gun is effective up to 3,000 meters, 9,842 feet. To get close, you'll have to confuse its tracking system. Use your chaff. If you can jam the system and get close enough, it won't be able to use its main gun. Use your chaff at a long distance to fool its electronic systems. Second time only. Even if you can get close, the M1 tank's maximum speed is 45 miles per hour. First, you'll have to slow it down. Go after its caterpillars with C4 or grenades. Once it slows down, toss a grenade in the commander's turret. The M1 has exceptionally strong armor. With your weapons, the only way to beat it is to attack the soldiers inside through the hatch. Try to aim at the upper hatch with your grenades. Master, prior to entering heliport duct, standing on snow at the heliport. If you leave a lot of footprints, you can confuse your enemy, but don't let your footprints reveal the direction you went in. Disguise your footprints to fool the enemy. Master, prior to meeting the DARPA chief. Master Miller's self-introduction. First call. Snake, this is McDonald Miller. It's been a long time. Master, what are you doing here? I quit being a drill instructor, so I moved out here for some peace and quiet. I'm in retirement, just like you. Once in a while, I still help train the Alaskan Scouts. Passing on the skills to a new generation, huh? Campbell told me about the situation here. I thought I might be of some use. There's no one I'd rather have in a foxhole than you. Well, I know lots about survival in a harsh environment. I've lived in Alaska longer than you, so call me if you have any questions about the flora or fauna out here. My frequency is 141.80. Inside duct. Those mice are Alaskan field mice. Don't worry, they can't hurt you. First time only. Wild field mice don't have a thick layer of fat, but they can still survive the bitter winters here without hibernating. They dig tunnels under the snow, and that's where they stay warm. Survival specialists, huh? I should learn from them. But there's a dark side, too. Sometimes the males will kill and eat offspring that's not their own, to ensure the survival of their own genes, right? Yeah, pretty brilliant program, huh? Second and subsequent times. If there are mice, that means there must be an exit somewhere. Follow the mice. Tank hangar 2F, noisy walkway. Snake, that floor is designed so that your footsteps echo. First time only. Listen, Snake, there's a way to walk so that your footsteps won't be heard. I call it stalking. Here's how you do it. First, put your weight on the opposite foot that you're going to step with. Then take a step so that your heel makes contact with the ground first. Then, as you slowly lower the tip of your foot to the floor, gradually shift your weight onto that foot. Use your knees to maintain this subtle balance. Try it. I can't do it. Another way is to wear your socks over your shoes. Second and subsequent times. If you crawl on your stomach, you won't be you won't make any noise either. Master, prior to Ocelot battle, the prison after the Darba chief's death, first time only. Surprised. You say the Darba chief is dead? Yeah, according to Naomi, it was a heart attack. It couldn't be. Bitterly. Well, it looks like all you can do now is find Kenneth Baker, the president of Armstack. He's in the second floor basement, isn't he? Yeah, on the other side of the wall that was cemented over. Okay, good luck, Snake. You can do it. Master, prior to Colin Merrill, Army South, Ocelot battle, first time only. The muzzle velocity of a bullet fired from a revolver is slower than one fired from an automatic. That's bad for you. The slower a gun's muzzle velocity, the more damage it does. That's because the bullet will tend to lodge in the body instead of going right through. Those kind of wounds take a long time to heal. Sometimes they never do. I think that's part of the reason he likes that gun. He's a real sick puppy, that Ocelot. Second and subsequent times. The biggest drawback to a revolver is the reload time. That's your chance. After Baker's death, first time only. First, the DARPA chief and then the President Baker died of a heart attack. Yeah, smells pretty rotten to me. Master, do you know anything? Thinking. No, but there's definitely something going on. Keep your eyes open out there. Okay, gotta eat my lunch here. You see, I was thinking about waiting till later before streaming, but then I thought, I have a couple of hours before my niece comes in from school, so maybe that's enough time to get through the rest of what I have to read through. But yeah, oops. So it looks like I'm gonna have to read what I can, then stop the stream when she comes in, and then start up again after she leaves. Pepperoni and salami. Basically, what I'm eating is if you went into Subway and ordered a spicy Italian, you would get a sandwich with cheese and slices of pepperoni and salami on it.
Okay. Let's see how many pages is on this thing. Okay. 173, and I'm at 118. Okay.
Master, prior to M1 tank battle, after deep throat calls, first time only. Master, does the name Deep Throat mean anything to you? Deep Throat? What? You mean the guy from Watergate? No, but he uses the same name. Whoever he is, he's not part of our operation, but he's been given me advice by Kodak. What? On top of that, he wasn't using burst transmission. It seems he was transmitting from somewhere on this base. Hiding a surprise. Somewhere on the base? Yes. I have no idea who that could be. I see. Meryl, prior to M1 tank battle, before she opens the cargo door. First time only. Snake, don't be so impatient. Settle down. I need a little more time to get the cargo door open. Second and subsequent times. I'll call you when I get the door open. Just wait a little, okay? Tank hangar ground floors after cargo door is open. The cargo door is open already. If you exit there and go north, you'll get to the warhead storage building where Dr. Emmerich is being held. I'll head there now and wait for you. Hurry after me, okay? Tank hangar basement floors after cargo door is open. Snake, did you lose your way? The cargo door is on the first floor. Heliport after the cargo door is open. Shocked. Snake, where are you going? The warhead storage building is north. I can't believe it. Solid Snake is lost. I guess it's true. The reality really can't live up to the legend. Cargo door airlock. Incoming call. Be careful, Snake. The airlock is set with infrared sensors. First time only. You probably can't see them with your naked eyes, but there are infrared beams coming out of that wall. Touch any one of them, and the doors will seal off, and the place will be flooded with poison gas. Somehow, you've got to get through without setting off those sensors. Obtained a cardboard box. First time only. A cardboard box. I heard stories from my uncle, but I always thought he was pulling my leg. I've got no comment. Canyon basics. If you go north from there, you'll eventually come to the warhead storage building. If you go north from there, you'll eventually come to the warhead storage building. Dr. Emmerich should be in the laboratory, or are you in the second floor basement? First time only. I'll go ahead and wait for you there. Meryl, what? Are you going to tell me to stay back because I'm too green again? No, it's your decision. I can't stop you from doing what you want, but concerned. Don't do anything stupid, okay? Jokingly pouting. Stupid? Boy, thanks for the great show of confidence. Admonishingly. Meryl. Anyway, I'll see you there. Minefield. First time only. The place is mined? Well, if you use a mine detector, you'll be able to see the mines displayed on your radar if the player doesn't have the mine detector. If you need a mine detector, there should be one on the second floor of the tank hangar. Meryl, prior to entering the nuclear warhead storage building, M1 tank battle. A or B at random. A. I think you might be able to fool the tank's electronic systems with a chaff grenade. B. No matter how good you are, there's no way you can match up against an M1 tank. All you can do is try to take out the person in the driver's seat. With grenades, you should be able to attack the soldier on top of the tank too. Section 2. After M1 tank battle. Wolf battle first. Nuclear warheads storage building 1F. Kodak call. Snake, never use your weapon on that floor. I've already programmed the nanomachines so that he won't be able to, Colonel. What? What are you talking about? Have you forgotten? That's where they keep the nuclear warheads. Can't you see them? Yeah, there's lots of boxes piled up here, but are they all warheads? Yes, they're all dismantled warheads. Disgusted. Snake says, they just leave them here? It's like President Baker said, totally careless. They're working on a limited budget. They try to put on a pretty face for the media, but this is the grim reality of it. Nastasia knows lots more about it than I do. Her frequency is 1 for 1.52. All of the warheads in those boxes have had their detonation mechanisms removed, so there's no fear of them exploding. But if the warheads are broken, they might leak plutonium, and that would be a serious problem. Be careful. You absolutely must not use weapons in that area. Cyborg Ninja Bottle 0. High voltage current warning. Snake, watch out. That place is filled with gas. Also, the floor is electrified. First, destroy the high voltage switch. It's the switchboard on the northwest wall. But how? I can't reach it. Use a remote controlled missile. Cyborg Ninja Bottle 1. Soldier's Bodies cutscene. Snake enters the narrow passageway that leads to the lab belonging to Metal Gear's development chief, Dr. Hal Emmerich Otacon. He scans the area. Cold fluorescent lights reveal bodies of soldiers wearing gas masks piled up along both sides of the passageway, the walls and floor stained with blood. From the presentation of the mangled flesh and blood splatter, it would appear all of them were killed by a sword. Snake traces one of the wounds with his fingers. It looks like they were cut by some type of blade. Overhead view. The player has control, but the camera drops down behind Snake, facing north, switching to an angle that is closer to a behind the character view than the top-down one. Snake proceeds down the passageway. There's a left turn at the end of it. Before Snake can round the corner, a soldier comes staggering into view and collapses in front of him. It's a ghost. Ugh. The soldier breathes his last. Cyborg Ninja Bottle 2. In front of the lab door cutscene. Trudging past the stacks of corpses, Snake finds himself in front of the lab. A second later, gunfire erupts inside as more soldiers engage the ninja. Their dying screams ricochet off the walls as they are cut down in quick succession. In front of the open doorway to the lab, one of the soldiers has had a blade shoved clean through his chest by some invisible force. Sparks shoot out of this unseen foe, the ninja, at regular intervals. His outline resembles the wave of a mirage. The soldier's body drops to the ground, and the vague silhouette of the ninja passes through the doorway back into the lab. Snake watches him enter in blank amazement. He follows the ninja inside. Cyborg Ninja Bottle 3. The ninja reappears cutscene. Otacon's personal lab. Partitions divide into several booths, one for Otacon, others for his assistants. It's a spotless, well-organized environment. Its features include office automation computers, large supercomputers behind the partition on the west side of the room, hard drives, documents, and impressive shelving containing files, books, and even manga, specifically titles that were later adopted into Japanimation. Flasks, speakers, and test tubes sit on shelves, and equipment used for chemical and other experiments. One nook of the lab has lockers for Otacon and his team. When the Snake enters the room, he sees a man in a lab coat, Otacon. Something has scared him so much his legs have given way. Bloody footprints lead from the entrance to the space in front of Otacon. The shimmering shape of the ninja approaches Otacon, forcing him up against the glass partition in front of the lockers. Otacon scooches back on his butt toward the wall. He's got nowhere to run. He's so terrified he wets himself. His form is still hidden. The ninja scrapes his sword along the patch of floor Otacon has soiled, sending sparks everywhere. The sparks disrupt the ninja's stealth camouflage, causing him to flash into view. A moment later, he materializes and stays that way. Stealth camouflage? Who are you? Where is my friend? What? What are you talking about? Snake moves toward the middle of the room. Otacon spots Snake and directs his attention at him. What next? Noticing the change in Otacon's gaze, the ninja slowly turns around. He sees who Otacon was looking at. Snake. His voice is hard to make out at times. Mixed in with it are respiratory noises that sound like they're coming directly from his trachea. You're that ninja. I've been waiting for you, Snake. The ninja turns, so he's squarely facing Snake, then readies his blade. Who are you? Neither enemy nor friend. I am back from a world where such words are meaningless. Blood from the soldiers he's just killed still drips from the weapon. I've removed all obstacles. Now you and I will battle to the death. What do you want? I've waited a long time for this day. Now I want to enjoy the moment. Otacon listens to their exchange as he slowly slides along the wall, putting as much distance between him and the ninja as possible as he waits for the right moment to run. As he continues to move, he chokes out in exasperation at the situation he's found himself in. What's with these guys? It's like one of my Japanese animes. I've come from another world to do battle with you. What is it, revenge? It is nothing so trivial as revenge. A fight to the death with you. Only in that can my soul find respite. I will kill you, or you will kill me. It makes no difference. From the look on Otacon's face, he's made up his mind. He springs into action. Wah! Otacon runs as fast as he can, but not at Snake or the ninja. No, he's running for the lockers in the back of the room. He climbs into the nearest one and slams the door shut. The ninja scoffs, unfazed by this. He doesn't move an inch. Ha! Fine. He can watch from inside there. I need that man. Keep your hands off him. The ninja flourishes his sword, then repositions himself for the battle to come. Now, make me feel it. Make me feel alive again. Cyborg Ninja Battle 4. The Ninja Flees cutscene. There can only be one winner of this hand-to-hand contest, and it isn't the ninja. He falls to his hands and knees, his body heaving as he catches his breath. Snake looks down at him, not saying a word. I felt that, Snake. Slowly, the ninja rises. Do you remember me now? It hits Snake like a ton of bricks. This adversary's behavior is all too familiar. It can't be. You were killed in Zanzibar. With a swing of his arm, the ninja's sword reappears. Suddenly, he arches his back, like an electric current is surging through his body and starts to spasm. Yeah! What? Not again? He thinks he's about to witness another mysterious death. The ninja is back on all fours, shaking his head in short, oscillating movements. The medicine. He begins banging his head against the ground to try to get some measure of release from the pain. The sound is like that of a post being driven into the ground. Inside the locker, Otacon trembles as he sits with his knees against his chest, his hands over his ears. The ninja thrashes in agony. What's happening? Snake can only stand there and watch as he tries to process this sudden change in the ninja. It's as if whoever is under there is fading away, but the spasms stop, and he sluggishly lifts his head away from the floor. I'm losing myself. Snake still doesn't know how to react to all this. The ninja quietly observes Snake. It would seem the pain has finally left him. Snake says nothing. Otacon lifts his head at this moment of respite. Is it over? Wah! With another animal roar, the ninja disappears. Snake looks up at the ceiling. The lab practically shakes as the ninja lets out one final cry. Snake contacts Campbell. Cyborg Ninja Battle 5. The Post. The ninja flees Kodak call. Grey Fox. Colonel, that ninja is Grey Fox, no doubt about it. Ridiculous. You of all people should know he died in Zanzibar. Sounding desperate, Naomi says, no, he should have died, but he didn't. What? It happened before I joined Foxhound's medical staff. They were using a soldier for their gene therapy experiments. I never heard that. It happened right after you retired. My predecessor, Dr. Clark, was in charge. Dr. Clark? Yes, he started the gene therapy project. Where is he now? He was killed in an explosion in his lab 2 years ago. So what about this soldier? Apparently for their test subject, they decided to use the body of a soldier who was recovered after the fall of Zanzibar. And that was Grey Fox? But he was already dead. Holding back anger, Naomi says, yes, but they revived him. They fitted him with a prototype exoskeleton and kept him drugged for 4 years while they experimented on him like a plaything. Today's genome soldiers were born from those experiments. That's the sickest thing I ever heard. They used him to test all sorts of gene therapy techniques. Naomi, why didn't you tell us about this sooner? Because it's confidential information. Is that the only reason? Naomi doesn't say a word. Naomi, what happened to Grey Fox after that? The record says he died in the explosion. I see. But even if that ninja is Grey Fox, the question is why? From what I could tell, he didn't know who he was. Are you saying that he's just a mindless robot? I'm not sure, but he seemed intent on fighting me to the death. We'll meet again. I know it. So you'll fight again? Until you kill him? Sounding upset. Snake says, I'd rather not, but maybe that's what he wants. Naomi doesn't say a word. Otacon Rescue 1. Otacon Rescue Cutscene 1. The ninja has just disappeared from their lab. There's no indication he's still lurking in stealth, and his screams can no longer be heard. Snake approaches the locker Otacon is in. How long are you going to stay in there? Otacon lifts his head. He answers Snake. Huh? Are you one of them? No, I'm not. I always work alone. Alone? Are you in a taco too? Come on, get out. We can't stay here forever. With an abundance of caution, Otacon opens the locker, then comes crawling out as he looks around. He gets his first good look at Snake and a wave of relief washes over him. Your uniform's different than theirs. You're the Metal Gear Chief Engineer Hal Emmerich, right? Otacon gets up. You know me? I heard about you from Merrill. Oh, so you're here to rescue me? Sorry, but no. There's something that I've got to do first. Oh, well, at least you're not one of them. Snake realizes Otacon is dragging one of his feet. Huh? Are you hurt? I'm okay. I just twisted my ankle a little bit trying to get away. He pats his leg. Well, if that's all, it's nothing to worry about. Snake walks closer to Otacon. I want to ask you something. I need information about Metal Gear. Huh? Metal Gear? Yeah. What's Metal Gear really designed for? It's a mobile TMD, theater missile defense. It's designed to shoot down nuclear missiles, only for defensive purposes, of course. Snake grabs Otacon. Liar. I already know that Metal Gear is nothing but a nuclear-equipped walking death mobile. Nuclear? What are you talking about? The terrorists are planning to use Metal Gear to launch a nuclear missile. You tell me you didn't know? They're gonna put a dismantled warhead into Metal Gear's TMD missile module? Wrong. From the beginning, the purpose of this exercise was to test Metal Gear's nuclear launch capability using a dummy nuclear warhead. The terrorists are just continuing the work you started. No, you're wrong. I heard it directly from your boss, Baker. The force behind Snake's words convinces Otacon he's telling the truth. He hangs his head. No, a nuclear missile on Rex? Completely shocked, Snake says, so you really didn't know? Otacon cannot believe what Snake has told him. No, all the armament was built by a separate department, and the President personally supervised the final assembly of the main unit. President Baker? Yeah, I was never told exactly what they armed Rex with. I only know it's equipped with a Vulcan cannon, a laser, and a railgun. The camera shows off Rex in its hangar. Close-up of the railgun unit as Snake and Otacon continue. A railgun, you said? Yeah, it uses magnets to fire bullets at extremely high velocities. The technology was originally developed for the SDI system and later scrapped, but we were successful in miniaturizing it in a joint venture between Arms Tech and Rivermore National Labs. The railgun is on Rex's right arm. Close-up of Metal Gear's nuclear module resembles a Rondosuru backpack. Metal Gear's main function is to launch nuclear missiles. You sure you're not forgetting something? It's true that Metal Gear has a missile module on its back that can carry up to 8 missiles, but are you saying it was originally meant to carry nuclear missiles? Otacon Rescue 2. Otacon's lab. Otacon's desk. Snake and Otacon are now at Otacon's desk. Otacon is sitting in his chair. Snake sits on the desk. On the wall by the desk are what appears to be blueprints for Metal Gear. Snake points to them as it continues. Yeah, but that's not all, I think. If Metal Gear fired only standard nuclear missiles, then they should already have all the practical data they need. Otacon thinks it over. No, could it be? He suddenly realizes what's likely going on. He moves his hands in the overtop manner. News footage, black and white, of a virtual laboratory film of nuclear testing. Metal Gear's co-developer, Rivermore National Labs, was working on a new type of nuclear weapon. They were using NOVA and NIF and laser nuclear fusion testing equipment and supercomputers. So, they developed a new type of nuclear weapon in a VR testing lab, huh? Yes, but you can't use virtual data on a battlefield. They would need actual launch data. Snake and Otacon have changed locations again. They're by the row of supercomputers, damaged if they were hit during the battle. Otacon continues in front of them. These are some of the supercomputers. If you link these, you can test everything in the virtual environment, but it's all just theoretical. Snake looks at the supercomputers. So this exercise was designed to test the real thing? What did our president do? If the terrorists launched that thing... Otacon falls to the ground. Damn! He pounds it with his fist. Over and over and over, blood seeping out of his hand. Damn. Otacon sheds tears as he speaks. I'm such a fool. It's all my fault. Footage of the Manhattan Project, the Enola Gay, the Fat Man nuclear bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. The truth is, my grandfather was part of the Manhattan Project. He suffered with the guilt for the rest of his life, and my father, he was born on August 6th, 1945, the day of the Hiroshima bomb. God's got a sense of humor, all right. 3 generations of Emmerich men, we must have the curse of nuclear weapons written into our DNA. Snake and Otacon are back in front of the lockers. I used to think that I could use science to help mankind, but the one that wound up getting used was me, using science to help mankind. That's just in the movies. Otacon breaks down crying. That's enough crying. Pull yourself together. Where's Metal Gear? Where on the space are they keeping it? Rex is in the underground maintenance base. Where is that? North of the communications tower. But it's a long way there. The emergency override system for the detonation code is there too? Yeah, in the maintenance base's control room. You better hurry. If they were planning the launch from the start, then their ballistic program is probably finished, and since they haven't called for me in a few hours, they must not need me. In other words, they must be ready to launch. Meryl's got the detonation code override keys. We'll link up with her. If we can't override the launch, we'll have to destroy Rex. In front of the lockers, Otacon is wearing a stealth camouflage coat he removed from one of them. He hasn't activated it yet, so he's still visible. Otacon is raring to go. He starts walking with big swings of his arms as he drags his foot. I'll show you the way. On that leg of yours, you'll just slow me down. You'll need me if you're going to destroy Rex. I don't need you, I just need your brain. I created Rex. It's my right, my duty to destroy him. Snake readies his weapon and starts preparing to leave the lab. If you get a chance, try to escape. When the coast is clear, I'll contact you by codec. How am I supposed to escape from an island? Okay. So what then? I want you to hide somewhere and keep me informed. You know this place well, don't you? Of course I do. And don't worry, I've got this. Otacon activates his stealth camouflage. He's now invisible. Just like the ninja, only a vague outline of his body can be seen. It's the same technology. It's the same stealth technology as the ninja. Foxhound was going to use them, but with this I'll be fine. Bad leg and all. Good. But I want Meryl to watch after you too. Snake calls Meryl. Otacon Rescue 3. Calling Meryl, codec call. Meryl, the engineer's okay. That's a relief. I want you to look after him. Where are you now? Very close. There she is, over there. Oh no, damn, they've spotted me. Gunfire, then static. Mantis's brainwashing music is audible in the background. The static after the gunfire was from Meryl's radio being destroyed. Meryl, what happened? Snake ends the call. Otacon Rescue 4. Otacon Rescue cutscene 2. Snake and Otacon are back in front of Otacon's desk. Snake is concerned. Something's wrong. Did you hear something? Wasn't that some kind of music? What did she look like? Otacon folds his arms and thinks. She was wearing the same green uniform as the terrorists. Snake thinks back to the rear view he got of Meryl as she was running away from him. Flashback video of that moment. A disguise? She had such a cute way of walking. She kind of wiggled her behind. You were really looking. Well, she'd got a really very cute behind way of walking, huh? If she's disguised as the enemy, you'll have to contact her when she's alone, huh? There's only one place where we can be sure she's by herself. Where's that? Don't be so dense. Hiding his embarrassment, Otacon hands Snake a card. Here, use this security card. It's security level 4. Snake suddenly realizes something. You're not in pain, are you? Referring to Foxdie. He touches Otacon's shoulder. Huh? You feel okay? Nothing bothering you? Nick places his hand on Otacon, wondering if he's okay. This strikes Otacon as odd. What's wrong? Getting friendly all of a sudden. Oh, nothing. I'm glad you're okay. You're strange. I'm a little nervous. Everyone else I've saved suddenly dies. You're bad luck. Forget it, Doctor. Call me Otacon. Otacon stands for Otaku Convention. An otaku is a guy like me who likes Japanimation. Otacon looks around his lab. He's got posters and models related to Japanimation and tokusatsu media. Close-up of the Police Knots EMPS poster. Otacon starts walking around the lab like he's introducing Snake to the place. Snake stays seated on the desk as he follows Otacon with his eyes. Japan was the first country to successfully make bipedal robots. They're still the best in the field of robotics. And Japanese cartoons played some part in that? They did. I didn't get into science to make nuclear weapons, you know. That's what all scientists say. I became a scientist because I wanted to make robots like the ones in the Japanese animes. Really, it's true. It just sounds like a childish excuse to me. You're right. We have to take responsibility. Science has always thrived on war. The greatest weapons of mass destruction were created by scientists who wanted to be famous. Otacon has given this some serious thought. He looks at Snake like a man determined to start a new chapter of his life. But that's all over now. I won't take part in murder anymore. Snake walks toward Otacon. Whatever. All I want from you is information. Sure. I know everything about this whole base. Ask me anything about Rex or about this place. Also, with this stealth camouflage, I can sneak in and out of the armory and mess hall. If you need ammo or rations, just tell me and I'll bring them to you. Otacon reactivates the stealth camo. Just like that, it's like he's not even there. I'm on frequency 141.12. See you later. The door opens automatically. The invisible Otacon leaves and the door closes behind him. Find Merrill 1. Meeting Merrill cutscene. B1 of nuclear warhead storage building. Snake needs to locate Merrill, who's disguised as an enemy soldier. He spots one of them entering the lady's bathroom, which is indeed the only place there where a woman would be by herself. Snake follows the soldier into the bathroom. However, there's no sign of the soldier, Merrill. There are 3 stalls. Snake starts looking under the doors. There's no one visible in the left or middle stalls, but then he notices a pair of boots in the stall on the right. Merrill is actually hiding in the cabinet under the sink. Snake barges into the stall, but he's been had. The boots were deliberately positioned in front of the toilet to make it look like someone was sitting on it. Light infantry camo and a balaclava have been placed on the toilet too. Don't move. That's the second time I've been able to sneak up on the legendary Solid Snake. Snake turns around to see Merrill standing there. She was hiding in the cabinet under the sink. Merrill lowers the barrel of her FAMAS. She's already taken off the fatigues she was wearing and is back to the tank top from before. Merrill isn't wearing a bra either, with the result that her nipples can be seen poking through the material. You can't notice that in the quality of the games at that time, of course. She's still wearing the ammo belt and harness she stole from Johnny Sasaki. The ammo belt has a magazine pouch and first aid kit attached to it. She wears a pair of tight leather pants and sports a large survival knife sheathed on her thigh. You're Merrill? Snake needs a moment to get over Merrill's looks. There's no way you could pass for a man for long. What do you mean? Hey, men aren't allowed in here. I had no idea you were so feminine. Merrill takes a little offense to this. This is no time to try and hit on me, Snake. Besides, it's a waste of time. When I joined up, they give me a psychotherapy to destroy my interest in men. Same smart mouth. You're Merrill, all right. Are you hurt? Not yet. After all, I was disguised as a genome soldier. So why'd you change? You'd be a lot better off dressed like one of them. I get tired of disguising myself. Merrill looks down at the floor, something clearly troubling her. She has a tattoo of Foxhound's old insignia on her left shoulder. The truth is, the uniforms smell like blood. What's that mark? She twists her hips to look at it herself. Huh? Oh, this? It's a paint tattoo. It's not real. I was a fan of Foxhound way back, when guys like you and my uncle were in it. Merrill looks at Snake with a nostalgia for something she never got to experience. None of that gene therapy like there is today. You guys were real heroes. There are no heroes in war. All the heroes I know are either dead or in prison. She's a little baffled by Snake's answer. One or the other. But Snake, you're a hero, aren't you? I'm just a man who's good at what he does. Killing. There's no winning or losing for a mercenary. The only winners in war are the people. That's right, and you fight for the people. I've never fought for anyone but myself. I've got no purpose in life, no ultimate goal. Come on. It's only when I'm cheating death on the battlefield, the only time I feel truly alive. Seeing other people die makes you feel alive, huh? You love war and don't want it to stop? Is it the same with all great soldiers throughout history? Snake sidesteps Merrill's question. Why didn't you contact me? My codec was broken. Is that all? Shouldn't you just be happy we met up like this? Merrill rests the FAMAS against the wall, perhaps as part of an attempt to reset the mood. How did you recognize me in disguise? I never forget a lady. So there's something you like about me, huh? Yeah, you've got a great butt. Snake looks down at Meryl's lower half. My butt? Oh, I see. First it's my eyes, now it's my butt. What's next? On the battlefield, you never think about what's next. They look each other in the eye. A bit of silence. Meryl draws the knife from her thigh, holds it up and moves her wrist back and forth. Same thing that Meryl in Police Knots likes to do. So, Snake, how are the negotiations going? No progress. So it's all up to you, huh? Somebody's got to stop them from launching the nuclear missile. There are two ways. Either we destroy Metal Gear or we override the detonation code. You got the card keys from Baker? Card keys? You mean this? Meryl sheathes her knife and reaching into her tank top takes out the key. She's holding only one key. Where are the others? There should be 3 keys. This is all I've got. Snake takes the key and asks the obvious. Where could the other 2 be? I have no idea, but they must be somewhere. If we can't find them, we'll have no choice but to destroy Metal Gear. Metal Gear is in an underground maintenance base to the north. Take me too. I know this place better than you do. You'll just slow me down. You don't have enough battle experience. Meryl takes Snake by the arm and turns him so he's facing her. Their bodies are reflected in the mirror behind them. I won't slow you down, I promise. And what if you do? Meryl looks into Snake's eyes and responds with all seriousness. Then you can shoot me. Without batting an eye, Snake answers back. I don't like to waste bullets. Meryl steps away from Snake and looks at herself in the mirror as she walks up to the sink and continues. Got it. I'll be careful. You know, I don't use makeup the way other women do. I hardly ever look at myself in the mirror. I've always despised that kind of woman. I always dreamed of becoming a soldier. Snake stands behind Meryl, hearing her out. But I was wrong. It wasn't really my dream. My father, he was killed in action when I was younger. You wanted to follow in your father's footsteps? Not really. I thought that if I became a soldier, I could understand him better. So, are you a soldier yet? I thought I was until today, but now I understand. The truth is, I was just afraid of looking at myself, afraid of having to make my own decisions in life. But I'm not going to lie to myself anymore. It's time I took a long, hard look at myself. I want to know who I am, what I'm capable of. I want to know why I've lived the way I've lived until now. I want to know. Snake goes through his gear, getting ready to leave. Take a good look. You won't get another chance for a while. You should wash your face too while you're at it. Yeah. This isn't a training exercise. Our lives are riding on this. There are no heroes or heroines. If you lose, you're worm food. Yeah. Meryl wipes away a tear with the back of her hand. Is that FAMAS functional? Snake points to the FAMAS line against the wall. Unfortunately, it's out of ammo. Snake looks at Meryl's Desert Eagle. Where did you get that Desert Eagle? I found it in the armory. It's a 50 caliber Action Express. There was a SOCOM pistol too, but I chose this. So I got a leftover, huh? Snake glances at his SOCOM. Isn't that gun a little big for a girl? Don't worry, I can handle it. Come on, use my 45. Listen, I used a gun like this since I was 8 years old. I'm more comfortable with it than I am with a bra. Meryl pops a new magazine into her gun. She pulls back at its heavy slide and lets it spring forward, chambering the first round. If we're going to go to the north, we'll have to go through the commander's room on this floor. The overland route is blocked by glaciers. The door to the commander's room is security level 5. This card will open it. Meryl hands Snake the card. He takes it. It was inside the pocket of the uniform I was wearing. Looks like he must have been guarding someplace important. Snake has finished checking his equipment. He stands in front of the south door in his ready stance. Okay, let's go. I know this place better than you. I'll be point man. Follow me. Meryl exits the bathroom ahead of Snake. He follows her back into the corridor. Standing outside the bathroom entrance, Meryl looks around. There isn't a guard in sight. That's strange. There's no guard. Mantis's hymn, which had been playing before, can no longer be heard. What happened to the music? I'll keep a lookout. Make sure you're ready, okay? Find Meryl too. Mantis's thoughts slip in cutscene. Snake and Meryl make their way to the commander's room, passing through the door that leads to it. Once through the door, it's like they've stepped into another world. The corridor wouldn't feel out of place in an opulent residence or a 5-star hotel. The red carpet leads toward the commander's room. They can see the door at the end of the long corridor. Once Snake reaches a certain point in the corridor, Meryl moves past him and stops in front of the commander's room. Mantis's hymn gradually fades back in. When Meryl hears it, she crouches and grabs her head. My head. Ooh, it hurts. What's wrong? Snake tries to approach her, but she orders him to stay back. Don't come here, Snake. Find Meryl 3. Puppet Meryl cutscene. Psycho Mantis's POV, as seen from inside the commander's room, pops into view. High-speed flashing back and forth between Mantis's POV and the game's regular overhead view. Mantis's POV flies through the door. Once outside the commander's room, he sees Snake and Meryl standing there. His POV then goes shooting into Meryl's head. Mantis's hymn grows louder. After a bout of pain, Meryl collapses to her knees and goes limp. Are you okay? Meryl comes to and shakes her head as she stands. What happened? I'm fine. Meryl talks with a steely voice like nothing happened. Okay, let's go. She continues on, walking like she's possessed. Meryl stops just outside the commander's room. Come on, Mr. Foxhound. The commander is waiting. Mantis Battle 1. Meryl controlled by Mantis cutscene. Snake enters the commander's room. Meryl follows him in. The place appears to be empty. The red carpet extends into the room. Voluminous bookcases complement the walls. In the center is a grand desk, presumably the commander's, with a high-backed chair to match. The walls are decorated with framed photos of previous commanders, commendations, and other achievements. On the desk is a computer, paperwork, an ashtray, and various other items. On the left side of the room is a holographic model of the entire base, including the communications tower. On the right are seats for visitors. Hanging on the wall behind the commander's desk is the Outer Heaven insignia. It's a neatly arranged room, and also one that gives the impression someone was in it until just moments ago. The one thing out of the ordinary is what was a full-length mirror on the east side of the room. It's been shattered, the pieces scattered across the floor. The polished floor offers a reflection of the room's walls, furniture, and furnishings. A bookshelf at the back of the room hides the door leading to the caves. When Snake enters the room, the hymn gets noticeably louder. Snake is free to move around the room for now. After a set amount of time, the song increases to max volume, and right as it does so, Meryl is bent backwards, as though she has just been electrocuted. Arr! After recovering from this, she starts to shamble towards Snake like a zombie. Her eyes don't appear to be focused on anything at all. Meryl raises her Desert Eagle in front of her, holding it with just one hand as she continues walking. This isn't any proper shooting stance that's been drummed into her. Her arm behaves as if her wrist is being held up with a string like a puppet. Snake, do you like me? She begins to speak in a strained tone of voice that seems very out of character. Gradually, she becomes more and more muffled, her breathing laboured, as though she were wearing a gas mask. Mantis has assimilated her. Mantis briefly flashes into sight behind her before disappearing. What the? Snake can't quite believe what he's seeing. Do you like me? Hold me, Snake. Snake backs away from Meryl. What's wrong? Mantis appears behind Meryl once more. Huh? Meryl points her gun at Snake, though now her eyes aren't even looking in his direction. Meryl opens fire. Mantis Battle 2. Mantis appears cutscene. Snake manages to knock Meryl unconscious. Mantis deactivates his stealth camouflage, appearing from out of thin air. He floats about a foot off the ground. Useless woman. Optic camouflage, huh? I hope that's not your only trick. Judging from Mantis's visible reaction, Snake's words have hurt his pride. You doubt my power! Snake remains vigilant as he goes over to Meryl and touches her neck to check her pulse. Now I will show you why I am the most powerful practitioner of psychokinesis and telepathy in the world. No, there's no need for words, Snake. I am Psychomantis. Snake is admittedly perplexed at how Mantis knew exactly what he was thinking. That's right. This is no trick. It is true power. Snake points his SOCOM, or FAMAS, at Mantis and is about to shoot him. Mantis holds his arms out at 45-degree angles as he remains floating. It's useless, I told you. I can read your every thought. Mantis analyzes 3 factors as he continues this conversation. 1. The player's actions up to this point. 2. Their save data. And 3. Peripherals connected to the console. 1. Player's actions. Determined according to A. Number of times spotted by the enemy, B. Number of times killed by the enemy, and C. Number of times killed by a trap. Mantis shares with the player an analysis of their gameplay history, their pattern. Now, let me read your mind. No, perhaps I should say your past. Pattern 1. A. If the player has been spotted a lot. You're a careless man, aren't you? B. If the player has been killed a lot. And you're a poor warrior as well. C. If the player has been killed by traps a lot or not at all. And the same goes with traps. However, you are skillful at eluding traps. B. If the player hasn't been killed a lot. However, you are a skilled warrior. You like brute force. C. If the player has been killed by traps a lot or not at all, but you are careless around traps, you are extremely cautious around traps. Pattern 2. A. If the player hasn't been spotted a lot, you are a very methodical man, the type that always kicks his tires before he leaves. B. If the player has been killed a lot, and yet you are rather ineffective in battle. C. If the player has been killed by traps a lot or not at all, not a lot, and you need to be aware of traps as well. It seems that you are careful with traps. B. If the player has been killed a lot, you are a highly skilled warrior, well suited to this stealth mission. C. If the player has been killed by traps a lot or not at all, not a lot. However, traps are your weak point. You are extremely careful of traps. You are either very cautious or you are a coward. 2. Save data. Mantis's lines change according to the contents of the player's save data. However, this is limited to Konami titles only. Still don't believe me? Now I will read more deeply into your soul. If there's no save data, your memory is completely clean. If there is save data, I can see into your mind. By title. 1. If there's a lot of data from Tokimeki Memorial games, so you like Tokimeki Memorial. 2. If there's data from Police Knots, you like Police Knots, don't you? 3. If there's data from Suikoden, so you like Suikoden. 4. If there's data from Azure Dreams, so you like Azure Dreams. 5. If there's data from Castlevania, you like Castlevania, don't you? If there's data from Vandal Hearts, so you like Vandal Hearts. Editor's note, option 1 and 2 are only available in the Japanese release. By genre. 1. If there's a lot of data from graphic adventure games, so you like adventure games. 2. If there's a lot of data from RPGs, you enjoy role-playing games. 3. If there's a lot of data from action games, you like action games. 4. If there's a lot of data from sports games, you like to play sports games. 5. If there's a lot of data from arcade ports. You like arcade games. By Game Company. 1. If there's a lot of data from Konami titles. I see that you enjoy Konami games. Thank you for your support. Mr. Kojima. So Hideo Kojima said, thank you for your support. By Metal Gear Solid Save Data. 1. If there's a lot of saved data, you have saved often. You are a prudent person. 2. If there's little saved data, you have not saved often. You are somewhat reckless. 3. If there's no saved data, and you're neglecting to save this game as well, you will regret it. I can read you like an open book. 3. If an analog controller is connected, you still don't believe me? I will show you my psychokinetic power. Put your controller on the floor. Put it down as flat as you can. That's good. Now I will move your controller by the power of my will alone. Hyah! If rumble is turned on, the controller vibrates on the floor. What do you think now? Can you feel my power now? End of demonstration. The demonstration is over. Mantis materializes, floating in midair, and attacks. Once the player has inflicted a certain amount of damage to him, he takes control of Meryl again. After the player knocks her out once more, you are powerful indeed, but I know your weak point. Meryl, stand right where he can see you, and blow your brains out. Ah! Mantis forces Meryl to point the barrel of her gun at her own head. Snake wastes no time in going up to her and stopping her from pulling the trigger. Stop, Meryl! He knocks her out yet again, and the battle against Mantis resumes. No, it cannot be! No! Mantis Battle 3. Mantis defeated cutscene. Snake comes out on top in his battle to the death with Mantis. Mantis deactivates his stealth camo and falls to his knees. Snake calls Campbell to let him know Meryl is okay. Mantis Battle 4. Post-Mantis defeat Kodak call. Colonel, your niece is going to be okay. Thanks, Snake. I owe you one. Now that Mantis is beaten, Meryl's brainwashing should wear off, right, Naomi? Yes. Why did you go so far of your way to save her? For Campbell's sake? Or maybe it's because you like her. She is unaware of it, but she says this with some jealously in her voice. I don't want to see any woman die right in front of me. Harshly, Naomi replies, Oh, really? Since when did anybody's death bother you so much? Admonishingly, Campbell says, Naomi, it's true that Snake has killed a lot of people. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a heart. Snake says, It's okay, Colonel. She's right. Naomi doesn't say anything. Mantis Battle 5. Mantis dies cutscene. A defeated Mantis lies face up on the floor. Meryl, still out cold, is face down on it. Snake walks up to Mantis. So, you used the other. I wasn't able to read the future. A strong man doesn't need to read the future. He makes his own. Meryl regains consciousness. She shakes her head a little. Mantis has been shot in the abdomen. Some of his internal organs, covered with excrement, are sticking out. Mantis holds them in, desperately trying to keep them from spilling out entirely. He casts a sidelong glance at Meryl as he speaks, struggling to breathe. Perhaps so, but I will read your future. To get to Metal Gear's underground maintenance base, you have to go through that hidden door. There's a hidden door behind the bookcase. The overland route is blocked by frozen glaciers. Go past the communications tower, then use the tower's walkway. Mantis is lying face up. Snake gets down on one knee next to him. Not too far away, Meryl looks down at him, appearing creeped out. Why are you telling me this? I can read people's minds. In my lifetime, I have read the past, presents, and futures of thousands upon thousands of men and women. Meryl, still on the defensive, walks up next to Snake. Snake takes off Mantis' mask from the bottom up, revealing his face for the first time. Oh, gross. It has no skin whatsoever. There are stitches running across his forehead and mouth. His eye sockets are sunken, the eyes themselves bloodshot and devoid of any luster, are cold and unwelcoming. Mantis continues, with his mouth sewn shut. He isn't speaking verbally. He talks directly into Snake and Meryl's minds. The familiar sound of his breathing through the gas mask is gone, and each mind that I peered into was stuffed with the same single object of obsession, that selfish and atavistic desire to pass on one's seed. It was enough to make me sick. Every living thing on this planet exists to mindlessly pass on their DNA. We're designed that way, and that's why there is war. But you are different. You're the same as us. We have no past, no future. We live in the moment. That's our only purpose. Humans weren't designed to bring each other happiness. From the moment we're thrown into this world, we're fated to bring each other nothing but pain and misery. The first person whose mind I dove into was my father's. I saw nothing but disgust and hatred for me in his heart. My mother died in childbirth, and he despised me for it. I thought my father was going to kill me. That's when my future disappeared. I lost my past as well. When I came to, the village was engulfed in flames. Are you saying that you burned down your village? Are you saying that you burned your village down to bury your past? With a twisted but joyous laugh, Mantis says, I see that you have suffered the same trauma. We are truly the same, you and I. The world is a more interesting place with people like you in it. I never agreed with the boss's revolution. His dreams of world conquest do not interest me. I just wanted an excuse to kill as many people as I could. You monster. Let him talk. He doesn't have much time left. I've seen true evil. You, Snake. You're just like the boss. No, you're worse. Compared to you, I'm not so bad. Snake reaches for Mantis's body. Mantis glances at Meryl and speaks. I read her mind as well. Meryl's? Mantis nods slowly. I saw you there. You have a large place in her heart. A large place? Yes, a large place. But I do not know if your futures lie together. Listening next to Snake, Meryl blushes. She pulls on Snake's hand a little, getting him to look at her. I have a last request. What is it? My mask. Put it back on. Okay. Like this, other people's thoughts forced away into my mind before I die. I want to be by myself. I want to be left alone in my own world. Snake puts the mask back on. Mantis spits out a sigh of relief. He's glad to be back inside. I'll open the door for you. If you want to find your future, go through that door. Mantis uses his last shred of telekinetic power to move the heavy bookcase behind them. Behind it was a door. It will remain open from now on. His strength almost exhausted, Mantis can just barely manage a smile, but he does. This is the first time I've ever used my power to help someone. It's strange. It feels kind of nice. Mantis dies. Snake gets up, leaving him where he is. Mantis Bottle 6 with Meryl cutscene. Mantis is dead, leaving his body where it lies. Snake makes his way to the open door. He peers through it, scoping out the path ahead, then looks back at Meryl. Let's go, Meryl. Meryl is staring at the ground. She mutters, I'm sorry. Snake turns around and looks at Meryl. Meryl? How could I let Mantis control my mind like that? If you're going to doubt yourself, I'll leave you here. You're right. Meryl feels a little better about the situation. Never doubt yourself. Just let it make you stronger. Learn something from it. You're right. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Just as Snake is about to head through the door, Meryl calls out to him again. Snake, can I ask you something? What? About what Mantis said. I was just wondering. What? What's the problem now? Oh no, nothing. Meryl changes the subject, avoiding what she really wanted to ask. So tell me, Snake, what's your name? Your real name? Snake waits a moment before finally turning around. A name means nothing on the battlefield. How old are you? Old enough to know what death looks like. Any family? No, but I was raised by many people. Is there anyone like you? Is there anyone you like? Nick is bothered by the barrage of questions. I've never been interested in anyone else's life. So you are all alone, just like Mentis said. Other people just complicate my life. I don't like to get involved. You're a sad, lonely man. Come on, let's go. Okay, so it's just after 2 o'clock. It's 14:12, 12 minutes past 2 in the afternoon. So my niece is about to come through the door from school. Since kids aren't allowed on streams, I'm going to have to stop the stream, and then I'll be back on after she leaves, which will be probably after 5 o'clock. So that's in less than 3 hours. So I'll be back on in the evening to continue where I left off on page 172. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll be on later.